What's it called? Viz Magazine. Remember?
Viz Magazine. I do remember Viz Magazine.
I won't say the name of my favourite comic strip from Viz Magazine because you'll get demonetised immediately.
What was your favourite comic strip from Viz Magazine?
Two
blind mice.
Portly women.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it the old battle axes?
No.
No? Oh. You know the ones that had like the aprons and the
if I say
the ironing pins or whatever they are.
The word fat.
Yeah.
And then another 4-letter word. It's not a great name for women, but great comic book strip.
Good. Well, there you go. Yeah. And that was in the old pages of Viz.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. You get little statues of them in like beach hut kind of shops and stuff.
Oh, really? In the southwest?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Welcome to today's Joe and Dan show.
Oh, God. Is it got actually what it's called now?
The Dan and Joe. What have you called it? Dan and Joe now.
Hey, there you go. The correct order of things. You're always second fiddle.
I am. Yeah. always the bridesmaid.
That's it. That's it. You make a fine toadwort.
The drunk sloppy one at the bar. And today we're talking about what Dan loves to do.
Oh, apparently so.
And talk about things how things were better in the past.
Exactly. That's what the privileges of being a 40-year-old man is. You get a nice kind of, retrospective on how things used to be.
Everything was better in my day.
Exactly. When I was young and filled with hope and excitement, rather now that I'm old and filled with, funeral planning and
didn't pay rent, no taxes.
I remember back in the day when I used to watch those, TV commercials that were on like Channel 4 in the kind of daytime television hours, back when they used to show shows like, I don't know, Erie, Indiana or whatever it was, and then some old geezer would tell you about if you signed up, you could get a free clock. Do you remember those, Joe, where they would tell you about the lovely free clock?
If you get
funeral arrangements
or a pension or something, and they'd be like, oh, you get this wonderful clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's got a cash value, equivalent.
£40.
Exactly.
Like the cash.
You may not have much of value left to leave to your children, but they could enjoy this novelty. Well, not novelty. This antique clock that we
but it's like
made in the millions in China.
They do that all the time with like giveaways now on like Facebook. They're like, you could pay £1 and you could win £1 million house in Cornwall, or the cash value. And it's like, who's taking the house? Because that's going to be a nightmare to deal with, right?
Well, not if it comes with, money alongside it. That's usually the gag, isn't it? It goes like you get the house and the car and spending money.
Yeah.
Which you're going to just basically put into maintenance costs.
Yeah, because that house is massive and the lighting and fuel cost of running that house would be madness alone.
It is a pretty gnarly way to exist. Home ownership is a terrible burden, really, in the grand scheme of things. The
real question is: Can anyone remember the phone number for the double glazing?
I remember the old Live and Kicking ads. Oh, yeah. No.
You buy one, you get one free, that guy.
You buy one, you get one free.
He used to dress like a king and he'd push over windows.
Oh, yeah.
You buy one, you get one free.
You buy one, you get one free. And it was on 1060. Wasn't that Churchill? No, not Churchill. Admiral. No.
Admiral, I can't remember.
No, there's one that's related to like a war, isn't there? And that's the genius of it, is that that telephone number is the year that the war happened. I swear that's a thing.
Really?
Yeah, I swear that's a legit. There is an advertiser that has a company that is either insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got a famous phone number. The significance of the phone number is it's significant to a year that
of the war.
Of a war that lives were lost, presumably, or something. There can't be Churchill, because Churchill. I mean, that would be far too distasteful.
They replaced Churchill.
The nodding dog?
The nodding dog, I saw.
I don't know, Joe, I don't know. We're not talking about Warhammer anymore, are we?
We're talking about more important things.
Exactly. This is why
1066, was the Battle of Hastings.
Yeah, that was it. And that was, what's that? Yeah, 1060. What is that company called, though? Is that Admiral?
Hastings Direct.
Oh, yeah, Hastings. There you go. Boosh.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I went to a place in the east of the United Kingdom, and the place is actually called Battle.
I wonder what happened there.
Well, exactly, a battle happened there, but it's also called Battle. I was like, is that the origin of the terminology for the word battle?
Like when I lived in Warminster.
Yeah, they had no name for it before in the East. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of people got together, had a big fight, and they went, You never guess what happened at battle. What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like.
Don't know how to describe it. I guess we'll call it a battle from here on in.
Finding out inane information about places where you live as well.
Oh yeah.
From like Shaftesbury's famous for a bunch of like disgruntled farmers and locals that refuse to like give up the land.
Oh, is that the place where they put the chalk outlines of giant penises?
No.
No.
No. We've got Gold Hill, which is the hill from the Hovis advert.
Oh yeah.
Where the little boy pushed up a wheelbarrow full of bread. And the amount of people...
The Battle of Hastings happened in battle. There you go.
Yeah.
Boosh. But was it called the Battle of Hastings, or was it just... I don't know, exactly. Was it battle... Anyway, that's the thing I don't know.
Was it what came first? The colour orange? Or yeah. Or that you could be the Prince of Orange as well. It's very...
I learned a lot about the Terry's chocolate orange the other day.
Oh, you were telling me.
I was telling you about the Terry's chocolate orange. I got excited.
You got
about
quite
it.
disgruntled about it.
I didn't get disgruntled about it.
You get very emotional talking about the loss of jobs.
That was more, the loss of jobs.
Touches home too much.
Exactly. No, that's it. And my currently, beleaguered state.
But
what's the great significance of people saying 07 all the time? Is that like one of those?
I don't know what 07 is.
Is that like a new 6 or 7 thing?
8, 9. That's the thing. If a kid goes to 6, 7, right,
you respond with 07.
If there's no one around, you punch them in the face.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
But if there is people to see,
there's always someone around here, though, mate. Unfortunately, surveillance is rife in this country. There's no way there'll be a Ring doorbell somewhere that will have documented that crime.
But then, if they go to court, you'd be like, "Oh, I was justified."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They need to put that into law.
Yeah,
it's justifiable.
Well,
I did just do it though, Joe. Please don't attack me.
I keep doing it. Oh, it's a salute.
Ah.
Oh. I didn't know that.
There you go. See, now you're learning more about Shaftesbury.
Oh, okay. I keep doing.
Oh, it looks like a. Oh, there we go. God,
it's
look
like
at
a
this.
head and a hat. Okay, got you.
And not like your favourite types of salute.
Yeah, I keep saying, "What the helly."
What the helly?
What the helly? But that's from a song, apparently. I learnt it from YouTube streamers playing Battlefield.
Oh yeah, you went, what the helly?
Helicopters flying around.
Oh.
But apparently, they're using it from a song.
Oh.
For anyone that cares, which they probably don't.
You care though, Joe, and that matters.
Care. So,
that matters to everyone here.
Anyway, what are we being told to talk about?
There it is.
What? That one.
Oh dear. There we go.
We call that the Brom. You know, Von Brom.
Jesus.
So what are we talking about today? The things that were, you know.
Yeah. The things that were the olden times.
Yeah.
Back when we were young and filled with hope.
There was a time many moons ago when I first joined the hobby. When I was a wee child, and I played the game to what I thought was playing the game. You know.
Oh yeah.
You know where, but I don't think I was playing the game.
No, I don't think so either.
No, and there was lots of cards involved. Like everything had a card. You know, like a
like
gun.
today.
Yeah, but like the unit was in a very thin, flimsy book, much like a magazine, and then every unit had loads of individual cards. All the spells had like their own individual cards, and all the guns had their own individual cards, and the war gear had it. And I was like, "Well, these are cool, aren't they?" But the
cards were cool.
Yeah, but
did you ever get what was it not called? Dark Age. What was it called? The one, the expansion to 2nd edition that added more cards. Dark Millennium.
Dark Millennium.
Or Millennium.
I think my friend had it.
No, I never had Dark Millennium. That was beyond my pay grade, I think.
Of being a child.
Exactly, being a child, absolutely. I had a paper round back then, mate. A paper round. I was in a retro video game store in like the middle of the north somewhere recently.
Yeah.
And they do trade-ins for Warhamster stuff. And while I was in there buying Neo Geo Pocket Color games, because, you know...
Because you're cool and hip.
I'm cool and hip and stuff. As I was in that shop buying Neo Geo Pocket Color games, a guy did bring in a load of old 2nd edition Warhammer 40,000 things, and I did look oh so longingly at Dark Millennium, only because of the fact that it was like a weird sense of nostalgia for a thing that I never had.
Was it in good condition?
It was in fine condition.
I keep seeing like combat patrols and spearheads and old start collecting boxes like in CEX now.
Oh yeah.
Apparently they're buying in.
Yeah, CEX are buying them in now. The one local to me has way too much Age of Sigmar stuff that no one wants to buy, obviously, because that's the thing that CEX hasn't quite realised yet. That despite it being a fantastic game, no one buys Age of Sigmar.
Does that mean the price is going down though?
No, God, no. They still. That's the thing. They still try and apply the simple kind of 40k logic to it, where people are going to just go, "Oh, it's a 40k thing. What is it? £100? Yeah, 2, please."
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know. I feel like
I don't think they realise that things like that depreciate in value, right?
what Warhammer 40,000 things.
But I mean, like, so I had
none of that depreciates in value.
I had an argument with a man in a shop, right, not too long ago.
You're such a Karen.
Yeah.
Why were you arguing with this man in the shop? You will honour this. This
is literally like a month before they announced the new Barrow Guard.
Oh
set,
yeah, and
right?
you bought a load of
no. So I was in this shop, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, and he had the Soulblight Gravelord Start Collecting box.
Okay.
Right, which had 20 Barrow Guard and something else in it, right? And he was
a month before the Barrow Guard came out.
Oh, they were called Barrow because they're not called Barrow Guard.
Grave Guard.
Grave Guard. So they're called Grave
Gravy
Guard.
Guard.
So I was like, I might get that. But he wanted £120 for it. Bearing in mind, like, you could still buy it on Google. Like, if I Google searched it, it was like 70 quid. I showed him, like, I'll give you £70 now. Because I could buy it off the internet right this second. Look, buy it now, £70.
£70.
And he was like, no, it's £120 because it's out of print. I'm like, I get that, but you can
But it's
still...
not out of stock.
But it's not out of stock. Yeah. Like, obviously Games Workshop don't sell it anymore, but other people do.
Yes,
and
including you.
Yeah, I said to him, like, and if I go onto the Games Workshop website now and add up the total of the things that are in that box...
Yeah.
Right? It's £75. Right? So I'm willing to give you 75. I'd rather give you 70 because I could buy it now, but I'm only going to buy it because I'm in the shop right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it's £120.
But
and I was like...
One day someone will give him that £120 and you'll be a fool.
And then they announced it, and then it's even more worthless, I think. At that
or
point.
even more worthwhile because it's even more out of print. Because you can't get the Grave Guard anymore.
But it's like, but why would you buy the... Because the old Grave Guard are awful.
Oh, awful. Terrible minis.
Yeah. And even
they were cool for the time.
Even if Games Workshop decide to bring back vampire counts to Old World, you're not going to use the old Barrow Guard, like old Grave Guard kits, are you? You're just going to use new Barrow Guard.
Quite probably, yeah. Quite probably.
Because they're just nicer.
So in a way, you had a lucky escape.
I did, but at the same time, I got so worked up. Because I was like...
Trying to stuff £75 in his pocket and walk away.
I'm like, you're hurting...
Why didn't you just steal it, Joe?
Because you can't. Because you have to go around a big...
You could totally steal it. You could have had it away.
Yeah. I could have pushed
That's what he deserved, punishment for his...
But this shop's like... This is one of those little shops in Somerset that's like... I always go there. Every time I go to my mum's, I always go there. I always buy something from that shop, right?
And he's always jacking up the prices.
But recently, like, he's had loads of stuff in that's like loads and loads of old box sets. Like, they had like all the Mechanicum Horus Heresy big boxes over the last few years. Like, where the fuck did these come from? And he's selling them at GW price when they came out. And I'm like, why have you jacked up the prices on something and not others? Do you remember the 4x4 playmat that Games Workshop first released?
The 4x4 playmat that Games Workshop first released?
It was like a fabric...
Oh, God, yeah. But it wasn't 4x4, though, weirdly.
No, there was a 4x4 one because it had like a stitch all the way around it. And then they had another one, which was like a green, horrible texture that feels like a Brillo.
Oh, what, the grass mats?
Yeah.
That were actually 6x4 grass mats?
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I'd pay it. And they were like, no, they weren't even 6x4, but they were... I used to own one of those.
I couldn't touch him.
I would probably...
It will get my hackle. All my hair would stand on end, and I'd be like frozen in pain.
Your hernia would explode now, basically, if you were to touch it today.
Honestly, touching it, there's something about touching that horrible grass texture.
We used to play Warhammer 40,000 around my place on that.
Yeah.
And you hated it.
I hated it. That's why I lost so much. I was too busy.
Was that what it is? You associated with the negative vibes?
Scared of the map. But
fair. Understandable.
But anyway, what we're doing, we're talking about old Warhammer, right? So we're here to talk about...
People are more interested in the fact that CEX sells Warhammer right now. That is true, it happens. Their prices aren't actually that good necessarily.
Yeah, they're awful. It's like when you go into like Hobbycraft sells Warhammer at like Games Workshop.
Yeah, but CEX do it cheaper than Warhammer prices, but not like dramatically cheaper.
But it's just like, it's not worth it because I always feel like when I see places like that, I'm like, you do realise you could buy this like on the internet anywhere else for cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. But you're there in the shop, aren't you?
It's like when I go into a game, I always, like everyone, I always kind of, you know when you kind of collect Games Workshop stores? You go to a new place and there's a Games Workshop store, you have to go into it.
Warhammer store, is there now?
Yeah.
Yes.
A Warhammer shop, right?
A Warhammer shop.
And I always walk in there, because I'm really excited because it's a new Warhammer shop, new Games Workshop.
You want to look in their cabinets and see how they paint things.
And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I can buy all of this cheaper anywhere
Oh, yeah, but you're not going there for the, you're going in there because arrogantly you want to know if they recognise you.
No.
You're going in there
No, I hate it when people recognise me.
You don't. You love it.
No, the best... Because the problem is when someone recognises you, the game gets immediately more uncomfortable.
No, really, because they're trying to wear you.
No, because two things ever happen. They either try and climb inside you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one.
Or they don't give a fuck, right? I care. I would prefer they just don't give a fuck.
But yeah, that's what you wanted in the first place.
Yeah, but I'm just like.
Well, you think so because like the facade drops in the sense that they don't even now want to even pretend like they care.
Yeah.
They've made a judgment about you.
Yeah.
They know you.
Yeah, but if they don't care, like
who wouldn't care about me?
But most of the time, like I don't bring it up. If someone else brings it up, that's fine. But I never bring it up myself.
When I met you, you weren't on the internet at all. When I was excited, I was like, "Oh, this is a lovely human being. I'd like to spend time with him."
I'd rather people just had a fun game.
They can't have that with you, though, Joe. You're such a cheat.
I'm not a cheat at all.
You are. You're a bloody misery to play against. We were playing a game before this started. He's just going around being all annoyed.
No. Basically, I'm learning to play with Stormcast, and I don't have a fucking clue how it works.
Well, exactly. So he's all grumpy because he makes silly decisions, and I've been shooting him with Giselles, and he doesn't like it.
But it's just like, no, you've sidetracked me now.
You're just like that place you were before this, where you have to run it back, and you'll be like, "No, we'll start again." I didn't like the outcome. We'll do it again.
Well, one thing annoyed me is that you bamboozled me into making me think you had the choice of who went first.
Well, that's just your lack of understanding of the rules. That's not me cheating. That's you getting it wrong.
Now who sounds like they run an academy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I might need to soon. I mean, God, the bank account's getting empty.
But anyway, the time that was. So we need to talk about your favourite things from each edition. I think realistically, we have to start at 5th.
Do we have to start at 5th?
Because I can't remember the rules from before then. So
well, I mean, 2nd edition had some really interesting stuff. Because you were talking about it. You were talking about the cards, weren't you? And all the whole system and the way that essentially there was some... I mean, I don't know if they're necessarily good rules in and of themselves, but I think 2nd edition...
We're here to talk about our favourite rules.
Well, okay, but we can start with 2nd edition, because I do have a favourite rule from 2nd edition.
I'll just chip in from when I can actually fucking remember it.
All right, no worries. We did... no one's done 5 yet, so I suppose that thing's... Come on, everybody. You didn't do the thing either where you talked about buying things from Element Games.
Oh, we only do those
stuff
on game streams.
Do you not do those?
No.
They only get those on the game streams?
Yeah.
All right, well, fine. And we don't acknowledge the people who gift 1 membership?
We'll do that in a minute.
We do that in a minute. Okay,
we kind of chat for a bit first.
We chat for a bit first. Sorry, I'm learning, everybody. I'm learning. So yeah, in 2nd edition, you know the rule I like in 2nd edition, Joe?
What's that?
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Do you remember Overwatch in 2nd edition?
No, I do not. That's why I said we need to start at 4th.
Well, there you go.
Right, no, I do remember Terminators having a 3-up save, but it was 2 dice.
That's correct, yeah. They had a 3-up save on 2d6, so that was quite cool. And that was an edition where they also still had minus modifiers to saving throws.
Yeah.
And they had the weird system of when you shot a thing that was like a vehicle, yes, facings and things. In fact, I actually don't even think they had facings back then. They didn't, You rolled to determine what bit of it you hit.
Okay.
So you'd have like weird tables with all, different kind of variable dice rolls.
Do you hit a gun or an engine?
Yeah, it's like, I shot you. Oh, cool. You hit the driver, or you hit the leg, or you hit the head, or whatever, and it had different armor values, and different guns had like different armor penetration rolls, where it's like a las cannon was like a D20 plus 2 or whatever it was, and all that kind of nonsense. But no, Overwatch, Joe, in the game of 2nd edition, was that you would basically do no actions at all with that unit, but to put it into Overwatch. And when they were in Overwatch, they essentially had a reaction, which was that if anything moved while within line of sight of the unit, they would respond with a shooting attack. So that was how it worked, basically. So it's sort of like how Overwatch works now, in the sense that if you move within 24 for a CP, you can do it. But there was a stipulation that you had to kind of methodically approach it. Sort of similar to how Overwatch works in the game of Space Hulk, if you remember that. You didn't play Space Hulk.
I did, but I can't remember it.
Well, basically, that was probably a rule that I quite enjoyed. Also, I'm not even sure if this really is a rule anymore in second edition, but I remember doing it all the time because I think it's one of those things that kind of became like a rumoured thing that people did.
Yeah.
Which was skimmers or other kind of flying things had an ability to do what was called a pop-up attack. Which is basically the idea that the skimmer is behind a wall and then it pops up, shoots, and goes back down again.
I feel that is something.
I don't know if that's a real rule, or if that was just something that became something that me and my friends did because we wanted advantages, because, always looking for the angle. But I remember that was a thing in second edition, at least in the Salisbury area where I was playing back in the day.
I feel like that was a thing.
Yeah. Does anyone else remember the pop-up attack? I'm going to look this up now. Second edition pop-up attack. Yeah. Was it a rule?
What is the Daily Grotmas thing? People are saying that it's out.
Oh! Should we have a look?
Yeah. Have you got your phone in your hand? So.
I do. I'm just going to have
Makes a change from his penis.
Whee! I can't fit that in my hands anymore. Too painful.
Because your hands are too small?
Yeah, no. It's just the welts. Oh, that's what it is now. Yeah. It's like trying to grip hold of a...
Sticky.
Yeah. Are you looking at the thing, Joe?
I thought you were looking at it because you.
I'm looking for pop-up attacks.
I'm cutting up posters at the moment.
The term pop attack in second edition Warhammer likely refers to the rule where grav vehicles could fly straight into the air and fire and then land back down. It's a real rule, Joe.
I mean, it's a.
Why can't you do that now?
Because people hate Eldar enough.
Oh yeah, but that was the great thing about it. It used to be.
It's a story.
Oh no, a story. Why are they doing stories in Grotmas?
What they've done now is they've turned the Grotmas calendar into your everyday boring home calendar, like Christmas calendar.
Oh yeah, one of those ones that just has pictures behind the panels.
No, it's just
not even a chocolatey treat.
Sometimes do you just forget to open your Christmas calendar at home? Sometimes.
I didn't even get a Christmas calendar this year.
I did
because I'm a joyless person.
So we have a Christmas.
Because I don't have a job, Joe. I can't afford these luxuries.
We still have calendars every year.
Well, there you go. You and your jobs.
And and sometimes I just forget to open it. I just forget it's a thing, and then I'm like, oh, I'll open it, and then I do a bunch of stuff. But last year, Grotmas was something everyone was super fucking hyped about.
Well, that's because it was a detachment every day. It was very exciting.
And Age of Sigmar got stuff, and Heresy got stuff.
I mean, Age of Sigmar got a bit of a sort of token gesture, let's be honest. They were like, oh, God, Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, we get excited if they spit on us.
Exactly.
But this year, I'm like, it's like, you're like, oh, is it going to be something? And then you're like, oh, is it going to be something? Oh.
Well, we got the soggy stuff for Chorfs. Soggy Chorfs.
I mean,
but that's just something they should have just had.
Yeah, I was like, I did say at the time, I was like, I'm happy they got it because they didn't have that, but it's kind of like
still missing spells and terrain though, aren't they?
Yeah, but anyway, so. Are you going to pick fly up and shoot as your favourite rule?
Well, I miss it. I thought it was a fun little rule, the ability to pop. But I quite like the Overwatch thing because again, it was like one of those abilities where you basically had to kind of, make a decision in terms of do I want this unit to go and do something now, or am I hoping that I'm going to use them in a defensive?
Oh yes, so you wouldn't shoot, but you'd select to go into Overwatch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You would enter into the state of Overwatch, and that was an interesting...
You do that bolt action.
Yeah. Also, I used to like the fact that you couldn't take vehicles unless you had a Tech Marine.
Oh, that's cool.
Because that made sense, right? It was like, a Dreadnought's turned up, and he's looking after.
He does.
So you had to take a Tech Marine.
Got to keep him awake.
To take a Dreadnought, or a Predator, or a Whirlwind, or a Razorback.
Oh, I like that rule.
Yeah, that was a good rule. And that was a weird thing when 3rd edition came along, because I remember getting the White Dwarf that was showing off 3rd edition, and the first thing you see is the Space Marine army, and they had a Dreadnought in it, and I was like, where's their Tech Marine?
Yeah.
Where's their Tech Marine? And then it's like, oh no, the Tech Marine is now a unit upgrade for a command squad. You're like, what is this madness?
Shit on your immersion, didn't
Exactly. It all just, ebbed out of me that day. But no, I quite like pop-up attacks or the ability for skimmers to go up and down. And I quite liked Overwatch. I thought those were two good rules. And I'd like to see both of those things actually in the game. You know what I think in terms of... and the other thing is... is that the phase sequencing in Warhammer 40,000 second edition was movement phase, which was basically declare charges or move, shooting phase, combat phase. I'd like to see that come back as well.
So I was thinking about this the other day.
They just went charge.
Because Age of Sigmar's got their charge phases done in the movement phase as well, isn't it?
No, Jack.
No? No, Old World.
Old World, yes.
Sorry, Old World. Sorry, yeah. Old World's got it. Yeah.
Pop-up Tech Marines, that's what we want. Yes! Yeah. Like a pop-up pirate.
Yeah, so like... But I don't know if 40k... I like the fact that the game systems are split.
I do too.
And they're not every game is the same.
No, I agree.
I will pick the Terminators on save on 2d6.
2d6, 3 plus on a 2d6.
Yeah.
You like that? It's a good rule, to be fair. And massive heavy flamer templates back then as well.
Oh, they were huge, weren't they?
And Vortex grenades. Do you ever use the Vortex grenade rule?
Yeah, because they had them, and then you had blight grenades, didn't you? For
the one where it's like, has that model got a face? Yeah. It's dead.
Yeah.
Like what?
Awful.
They actually had to introduce another like war gear card for that, where it was like a respirator, where it was like, it's okay, we've had shots or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking. The blight grenade.
I think it was called a virus bomb. Is actually what it was called back in the day.
Oh no, because that got turned into the blight grenade that the Death Guard have.
Has Dan had the white powder today?
Yeah. He's just always this excited
I'm always
to
very
talk
excited.
about Warhammer.
Can I also say as well, actually, as the last rule as well, with the Vortex grenade,
Yeah.
the other thing that's quite fun about it was when Vortex grenades touched terrain.
Yeah.
Because there was a big elaborate table of things that could happen when a black hole lands on a piece of scenery.
Yeah.
And one of the outcomes is the thing would flip. So the idea that, like, basically, like, imagine if you were playing modern 40k and you could put, like, a black hole on a terrain piece and then it flips over and then everything in it basically
Well, they reintroduced the Vortex grenade in 6th edition as part of Apocalypse.
They did introduce it in Apocalypse. They also added it. No, they didn't. They used. You're right. It was Apocalypse, and then weirdly they used the same
dome shape. But they changed the outside of it to be the webway gate.
Yes, there we go. Look at him. He knows.
I know exactly. I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah, with the Drakari webway portal.
Yeah.
There you go. But no, 2nd edition. Also, they had allies matrices back then as well. Like they had this is the thing. I think basically, 2nd edition 40k had loads of really amazing rules in it.
Yeah.
Because it was a much more kind of versatile game system with a lot more kind of expressive gameplay, storytelling.
It was
skirmishy stuff.
More of like a large-scale RPG, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Than actual like a war game.
Yeah.
It didn't really become a war game until like third.
Third edition was when they started
where it started to become more of an actual. We're fighting in a battle now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Defend yourself.
I didn't play any Rogue Trader, by the way, if anyone's interested what I think the good rules are in Rogue Traders. But I think the ability in Rogue Trader to mutate your Chaos Men and give them chicken feet is pretty great.
I think if I could say my favourite rule from 2nd edition. That I could bring back to now, you can only pick one.
Yep.
Right. Is the Vortex grenade.
Okay. The Vortex grenade.
Because I don't want to waste my 6th edition one.
Okay. What about the shock attack gun, though? Do you remember that?
No.
So the shock attack gun was the one where you would basically take a snotling and then create a tear in the warp and then shoot the snotling out of it.
Well, because it would reappear inside the target, wouldn't it?
It could reappear inside of the target, but it could also like hit the wall. It could do all sorts of stuff. And that had lots of complicated tables. There was a really mad gun in the Ork army in 2nd edition, which was called the Pulse Rocket.
Yeah.
And it basically just hit the ground and then just let out a big pulse and everything just fell over. Yeah. And that was quite fun. Yeah. But anyway, 2nd edition had loads of great rules, but I'm going with pop-up attacks and Joe's going with...
Vortex grenade.
Vortex grenade in general.
Yeah.
Any particular aspect of the Vortex grenade?
I just like the idea that I like the concept of that there's a little dome.
A little-
I'm going to use the 6th edition version as the best version of it.
Okay, fine.
Which is like a little metal dome, which
A
is
little
like
pie.
half a ball, essentially.
Scotch egg.
Right? And it would just randomly move around the table, and anything it touched just died.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is
It did
brilliant. I just love that as a concept.
That was one of the mad things with 2nd edition 40k, though. There were lots of those mechanics. So there was a gun called the graviton gun.
Yeah.
You know, the old graviton gun. And it literally was a...
Not the new one.
No, the old... No, because that's a grav cannon or a grav gun or a grav pistol.
Horus Heresy's got the graviton gun.
Yeah. Oh, does it? Okay, fair. But yeah, the graviton gun was a war gear upgrade. It was a I think it was a pistol with a 6-inch range.
Yeah.
And you basically used to just take a tech marine, put a jump pack on him, because you could give tech marines jump packs back then.
Yeah.
Give it a jump pack, give it a graviton gun, because the tech marine had a ballistic skill of 5, which in today's parlance means that it hits on 2 pluses. And then you used to just run around going, what's that, a bloodthirster? Hit you on a 2, now you're gone. Because what the graviton gun did was basically just turn gravity off for the thing that it hit. So it's like, away you go.
Whoop, off he goes.
It's the maddest thing ever.
Yeah. 3rd edition.
3rd edition, right, okay, cool. What is the best thing about 3rd edition 40k? What is the rule?
I'm not sure if anyone has great memories of 3rd edition.
Early doors, I mean, did you play much of the kind of index time of it? Because that had some mad stuff in there. It was like a really interesting time for it. But I think for me, my favourite rule within 3rd edition Warhammer 40,000, again, like the thing is like 3rd edition 40k is like the foundation that everything has since been built off, because it's when they established the move, shoot, charge sequence that has kind of become the staple of the game design since. And also they expanded the size of the armies, so it became more of an actual kind of simulation of warfare. And then also, as well as that, they really downplayed like the emphasis on heroes. So it was the edition where characters were mostly terrible. So you never really saw special characters take to the field unless people really liked Marnius Calgar or whomever it was that they wanted to bring to bear. So on the whole, I think 3rd was just a real mastercrafted piece of work in terms of what it did broadly. I suppose if I was going to point to any particular rules that I thought were super fun in 3rd edition, I'm going to go with the streamlining of the damage tables on the vehicles and the different kind of outcomes of that, as well as also just dangerous terrain tests in the general sense. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Although, if you're talking about bad...
at the same time.
Oh, yeah, well, no, just terrain rule, you know, the one where you roll 2d6 and move the highest, it was wildly frustrating. And also, as well, the decision to streamline movement that infantry moved 6, cavalry moved...
Yeah.
Actually, cavalry moved 6, but charged 12. But anyway, that's an aside. But, you know, jump infantry moved 12.
Beast charged 8.
No, that was specifically... The only thing that did that was specifically the Ravagers.
Oh.
Tyranid Ravagers moved 8 and charged 8.
And all the Hormagaunts was...
Hormagaunts were beasts, so they moved 6 and charged 12.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I might be getting it wrong in terms of how those things worked, but yeah, on the whole, I think like 3rd edition, the thing is, I suppose at this point, and probably why we probably should have started with 3rd edition, is 3rd edition is so drastically different from 2nd.
Yeah.
That you almost kind of have to kind of talk about it like the baseline template for everything that came after, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose like I would probably go for the real fixing down of like armor values on tanks and vehicles was probably a really good bit.
Yeah, that was really good. That was streamlined in a really nice way, the way that whole facing thing came into effect.
Yeah.
I liked the way, to be honest, the weapon systems in 3rd edition 40k were really well considered, because you had rapid fire, which basically was if you remain stationary, you can shoot 2 shots at 12 inches or 1 shot at 24. If you moved, if you moved at all, you could only shoot 2 shots at 12 inches. That was basically the general consensus.
But it was also the introduction of you could only charge what you shot at.
Yes, and you could only charge what you shot at, which I also think was actually quite sensible in terms of a design decision, because it streamlines things. I'd like to go back to a world where it's unit on unit.
Yeah.
Like I think, because there is nothing worse than when you're playing a game of 40k these days than someone procrastinating about where each individual bullet is going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to play Richie back in the day. You know old Richie.
Yeah. I can imagine that was a great time.
He used to run. Do you remember in 8th edition Warhammer 40,000 there was this Imperial Fist formation as part of the Indomitus, not Indomitus. What was that campaign system they did on that planet that's in the
Vigilus?
Vigilus, yeah. So Vigilus Defiant or Vigilus Ablaze or whatever it was. In one of those, there was an Imperial Fist detachment. Anyway, long story short, it just meant that Centurions were ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember.
But Richie basically would spend, I kid you not, like sometimes 20 minutes trying to work out what every Centurion was doing with every individual armament. And it was just like, oh my God, this is so tedious. Whereas if it was just, they're shooting that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But that also created an interesting dynamic as well, because sometimes you often would end up in situations where you had to commit to overkilling something.
Yeah.
Because you might leave a unit with like 2 models in it, and then you'd be like, oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to shoot them with all this.
But it was also super annoying is if you had... This is why in the older editions, I never had multiple weapon options in a unit. Because I really hated the idea that you'd have a las cannon, a plasma gun, and a bunch of bolt guns in a unit.
So those rules actually became really beneficial in later editions, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, like, because in this edition, casualties were resolved closest to closest, right?
Yeah, which went on until...
5th.
No, it was in 6th, wasn't it?
They brought it back in 6th.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we'll get onto it when we get onto it. But they changed it. But yeah, the way wounds were basically allocated, you essentially just resolved closest to closest, I think, in 3rd ed. And also, you could only shoot the closest thing.
Yeah.
Tyranids had a specific rule in their codex saying, hey, you can shoot other stuff if you want.
Yeah, because we've got big brains.
Yeah, because we got big bugs. You might not want to shoot our little bugs. You might want to shoot the big bug. Therefore, you have a rule that lets you.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting thing in and of itself at the time. 3rd edition also had some of the best codexes, I think. Because the Tyranid codex in 3rd edition was genius.
Yeah.
Because it had all these rules where you could customize and change the way that your NIDs worked. So they introduced this concept of bio-fixed and bio-transient. I don't remember what the term was for it now. It's like a bio... Basically... There were certain bioforms that could be changed. So if you wanted to, you could just go like, oh, I'm going to have more venomous pouches or do some other mad stuff on them.
Yeah, that was also one of the best parts of the 6th edition Tyranid Codex. And a little bit 7th, but mostly 6th, where you could add extra chitin to units. Or you could make their initiative higher or their weapon skill higher. You could just do a different bio upgrade on each unit.
Was 6th edition the one where they introduced the weird Zoidberg gene stealers?
Yamargul,
yeah. God,
they came in because
they had to explain why some of them had wibbly faces.
Yeah, but it went from being one person in the unit to the entire unit.
Yeah.
Wibbly faces.
I love that unit because I love the fact that the actual the Hive fleet don't like them at all. They're like literally like when they're doing the thing and like eating all the biomass later, they leave them behind. They're like, not you.
The Yamargul gene stealers came in with the release of Apocalypse.
Was that another Apocalypse?
Another Apocalypse unit formation.
So why are we saying our favourite rule for 3rd edition is, though, that we feel...
I'm going to say 3rd edition, we could probably get away with saying...
It's all good.
It's all good because it's the baseline of what we have now.
Yeah.
Right?
It had its problems, though.
Yeah.
Like rhino rushing and all that kind of stuff. That was always like the thing that people used to say was really ridiculous.
Yeah. And it was the arrival of Drakari, or Dark Eldar.
Dark Eldar, as they were back then, yeah. And Tau.
And Templars.
No, Templars were 3rd, but it was weird Templars because they got their first ever codex in 4th edition.
Yeah.
They were just a Space Marine chapter.
Yeah. They were
in
just
3rd.
cool, weren't they?
They were cool.
When did Necrons pop up?
Necrons popped up in 3rd as well.
Yeah.
So they first appeared in 2nd.
Yeah.
And they were amazing in 2nd edition. And then they became boring in 3rd edition.
Yeah.
I actually think the 3rd edition... No. The 3rd edition Necron players had something about them because that was when the rules were, have you killed 75% of my army? All right, bye.
Just full edgelords, yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, and I remember like someone was like, I'm just going to bring non-Necron units and just hide my one Necron unit at the back.
Yes.
And please don't kill it.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah. That used to be the gameplay. It used to be like, here is my necessity of here's my necessary unit of Necron warriors.
Here's my minimum requirement.
They're hiding behind the hill. Please don't get them.
Yeah. Please don't go anywhere near them. Also, I think like 3rd edition really brought in and really cemented what a monstrous creature is.
Yeah, because they used to have, and also actually as well, 3rd edition began but didn't necessarily define the trend of universal special rules as well. So 3rd edition started to dabble with this thing has, if it's a monstrous creature, it would have rules associated to that. But 4th edition was when they started really dabbling into specific terminology around universal special rules.
Okay. So 4th edition.
4th edition.
The bedding in.
The bedding in.
The bedding in edition.
So they introduced universal special rules, which were really good at the time. I think...
I don't know how you can really beat universal special rules.
Well, it was amazing, right? Like, it was when they started to really kind of make sense of things. They didn't necessarily get it right all the time. So, like, rage was like one of those abilities where you're like, this unit's got rage. And you'd be like, oh, God. No. Why would you do something like that to me? Because rage basically was essentially like you had an NPC in your army. You're just literally like, here is a thing. I have no control over what it does. It's coming for you. And that was always the downfall of Blood Angel armies because it sounded great until you realise, they've all got rage, so they just have to go.
My favourite rule from 4th, where they kind of made it better if you were a Tyranid player. It wasn't great if you were against Tyranids at the time. Is the continuous combat. So after you killed a unit, you could then go into another unit, which would then initiate another fight. And then if you killed them, you'd buy it again, and then initiate another fight.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. It used to basically be that one gene stealer that got into Tower, it kills everything.
Yeah, so you kill one would die, they do nothing in response, fail a leadership test, run away, he'd chase them down, but subsequently just run into another unit. It was a horrible time for Tau and Guard.
Yeah.
Great time for Hormagaunts, Gene Stealers, and Carnifexes.
Oh, yeah. 4th edition Nids was just something else. Like, they were just, like, the bane of everyone's existence. I always remember when we used to play down the various clubs and stores and all the rest of it. Every time you saw someone playing Tyranids, the game was always the same. It was basically the entire of their opponent's army on the back line of their table, and then hoping that somehow they're going to be able to shoot them before they get...
And a wall of Hormagaunts.
Yeah, just going... And you're like, oh, God. Yeah, it was really rough that back then. You could do some shenanigans with them. I actually really like as well, in 4th edition, was the first edition where they introduced Kill Team.
Yes, but it was much more customizable.
Oh yeah, it was a complete like do-it-yourself attitude. So they introduced the concept of Kill Team as like one of the weird, quirky, back of the rulebook things.
Yeah.
And they had like, again, there was still a hobby focus on things back then where it was all like, don't just buy it from us, make it yourself for the rest of it. So they had,
but at the same time they had, because that was the edition where they released the Cities of Death terrain, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no, 4th edition and potentially the Realm of Battle boards.
It came out mid 4th edition. That was my first ever games day.
Really?
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of complaints because they advertised the Realm of Battle board for £100. Right.
Kill Team started in the 90s in White Dwarf. All right, fair enough. Well, it was in 4th edition.
The rulebook version was Cities of Death.
Oh.
Which was a version which was Kill Team.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, same but different.
Planet Strike. Yeah, oh, yeah,
so they advertised the Realm of Battle board for £100 at Games Day.
Oh yeah, and it used to come in a case.
People were really, really excited. And when it went out for release, it was £150. The nerd rage. But obviously the internet wasn't massive at the time.
No.
So it was just
us on Warseer really giving it to them.
In-store and on forums nerd rage.
Yeah, all of us aggressively agreeing with each other in our little echo chamber.
Yeah.
With no outside consequences.
It was so funny.
But,
just people inside gaming clubs. How could they? You know?
4th edition, for my liking, I think they did a lot of really interesting stuff in it, but it was mostly a clean-up of some of the nuances of 3rd edition. They changed how disembarking from transports worked. They changed some of the sequencing around things, but they did introduce that massive problem of ongoing combats, basically, which was a bit of a pain. Although, to be fair, I think the 3rd edition rule set also had that ongoing combat shenanigans in it as well, potentially.
When was Apocalypse? That was 5th edition.
That was 4th as well.
That was 4th.
4th, they first introduced Apocalypse in the 4th edition.
I'm going to pick Apocalypse. I know it's a selection of rules.
It is.
But I remember, like, the sheer amount of joy from Apocalypse coming out. People literally hiring out halls. To have, like, 100,000 point games. You know?
And then deeply regretting it.
And then hating it.
Yeah.
I remember we rented out our hall for 2 days. I think we got 3 turns in.
Honestly,
Because we were like, and then afterwards we were like, never again. 3,000 points per person maximum. After that, never more.
I think you could do Apocalypse-style games really well if you adopted a system of like hierarchical leadership and essentially created a kind of commanding position where that individual basically has oversight over what people are doing, and then they essentially have their captains, i.e. the other players, and they have to execute those orders, as it were. Basically, it becomes a case of you kind of have like a council of war element to it, where the commander goes, right, this is what we're doing, and then effectively you break down the table into relevant sections based on the number of players. So if there are 3 captains on either side, you'll break it down into little triumvirates, I suppose it would be in that sense, or a third, and then you execute things that are in that space. And then it doesn't matter whether my miniatures are in that third or your miniatures are in that third. We just control what's in our domain.
Because what happened is you always have some fucking... Because I remember like there was always that one guy who had a full Space Marine company and drop pods. And they'd spread it over the entire 14 feet of table. And you're like, why are you doing this?
Exactly. And the whole game was people just going, sorry, mate, I'm shooting... Mate, I'm shooting your mate, shooting your things. Like, and it's just like, and you end up being that guy that's running around the table going, right, what's happening over here? Oh, you got to roll 4 saves.
And then it just becomes angry admin at that point. Like no one's having fun anymore. And it devolved into a lot of gaming clubs, including ours. They were like 3,000 points a person, 2v2. Because we want to get this finished. You know. And that was always enough to have like multiple Baneblades on a table and a Titan and stuff like that. It was great. The
thing of Apocalypse is a beautiful idea. It's a wonderful idea. And I was at that Games Day when they introduced Apocalypse and they did the formations as part of it. Remember they did those box sets? Because it was the first time you could buy the All-Tark on jet bike. That was like a new miniature that was specifically made for Apocalypse initially. And then it got rules... in fact, it might have had rules already in the 4th edition Elder book, but the point is they were like, oh, you get this special spearhead or whatever it was called, detachment, where it was like loads of jet bikes, loads of Vipers, and this All-Tark on a jet bike, and it was super cool.
I remember begging my parents to get me the Lehman Russ box set.
Oh God,
Which is like 10 or 12 Lehman Russes in the
sexy,
box.
That was,
so good.
I live in constant regret that I never bought that company box for Space Marines.
Oh,
wouldn't that be a thing just to have in the loft now today?
And
and it was only like £100 or something back in the day as well.
Do you know what 4th edition also really cemented in for Games Workshop as a general release product was the Imperial Armour books.
Yeah, so that was because that was I suppose when they started really doing more of the like Forgeworld stuff.
So that's when like things like because I got the entire tank company, so I could buy the Forgeworld Vanquisher turrets.
Yeah, I love that.
Right, it was great. But also then you got like, and then they really started because originally you had the Imperial Armour Apocalypse book, which was great because that brought in like better rules for things like planes as well, but also. You started to get more narrative Imperial Armour books around that time as well, which was really, really good.
They are pretty great.
Started to get awesome.
So 4th edition, basically, it's just all member berries at this point. It's we love Imperial Armoury, We love Apocalypse. We loved Kill Team.
I think.
To be fair, this is like prime you and me playing Warhammer 40,000, though, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like.
Basically, we're between the ages of like at this point in our lives, we're between the ages of 15 and 21 or something, or whatever it was, and then
so it's like this like
not 15,
fourth edition was like. You know, I've actually got a proper part-time job.
Yeah.
You know, I'm seeing my friends more regularly. I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm out in the world now. I still don't have to pay rent.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We've got a cool gaming club. It's all going good. Like this is peak.
This is peak
This
times.
is peak pre-mental internet. No touchscreen phones yet.
No. Wouldn't they? No, they.
Everyone's got buttons.
Yeah, 5th edition came out around the time of the iPhone, didn't it? I think it was the same year. Was it 2007 5th edition?
I can't remember 2000.
Was the iPhone 2007? I feel like it was. But who had an iPhone when they first came out? Not me, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I did. It took ages to come out.
BlackBerry for years.
I never had a BlackBerry.
No, I didn't.
No, I went for a phase of thinking that everyone that had a BlackBerry was a massive knobhead.
Mate, I never owned a phone until I started having to work.
Yeah.
And they gave me a phone, and I never used it, and I almost lost my job because because they kept trying to call me. I was like, oh yeah, my phone. Whoops.
I had mobile phones at school, but they were always terrible, like Motorola cheap phones that were like the length of this glass, you know, and probably just as wide.
Yeah.
And they were huge. I didn't get like into phones until I got a job at a phone shop.
Oh, you worked at a phone shop, did you?
Yeah.
In your long list of
my
jobs.
long list of many jobs.
There you go.
And
2008. Look at this. This chat is great, isn't they? They got it all.
Chat know everything.
They know everything. It's because they got the internet at their fingertips.
Yeah.
I do too, technically.
They've got Google.
Yeah, exactly. They got Google. Although I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that you knew that.
Yeah. And so I'm going to pick Apocalypse. What are you going to pick?
Oh, for 4th edition, I think just, further cementing the Universal Special Rules, cleaning up the problems of 3rd edition, and then I think if you were speaking about any particular...
Kaz, right, I had that one, but the phone, the aerial unscrewed,
Oh.
and then everyone would lose it because they'd piss around with it and drop it and it would disappear into the ether.
I remember when they released the Matrix in like 1999 and everyone went, was that Motorola, the one with the...
Yeah, the flip.
It wasn't a flip, it was like a
clam.
A
slide,
Yeah, that was the one that people were like going mad for. But you had to play some weird knockoff version of Snake on it though, couldn't you? It was only the Nokias that had proper Snake.
I remember my mum had the indestructible Nokia phones.
Oh yeah.
Because...
whatever happened to Nokia phones? Are they still a thing? Who knows? They probably got bought.
Yeah, someone bought them.
Someone bought them, closed them down.
Yeah.
The thing. The motor. God, look at these guys. They were on it. Motorola Razor. Yes, that was the one.
I remember my mate got one.
Oh yeah.
You
had such posh friends back in the day.
And he thought he was hot shit, you know.
To be fair, I did have a friend who got one as well. His name was he was a South African chap called Donovan Justice. I thought that was always a great name. The Don of Justice.
What a great name.
And he did used to just lean into it, being like basically running around the place going like Neo whip. It was
much like when
it was
we were
cringe,
children,
but
where
awesome.
you wear black sunglasses and have like a slider thing to do Men in Black.
Do you remember that was a thing where if you wore a long black trench coat, leathery trench coat, that's what everyone used to yell at you in the streets?
Yeah.
I didn't do that myself, but friends of mine did, and it was always Matrix.
Yeah.
It's like brilliant.
I already owned a long barber coat at the time.
Oh yeah.
Because
did that get tarred with that brush?
Well, no, because I was really into Highlander.
Oh right, so they were like, there is only one, or there can only be one.
So my mum tells this great story.
Yeah.
Right. Because she likes embarrassing me.
Yeah, fair. And now you're going to do it to
yourself.
yourself.
I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
Well, as a child growing up, I was obsessed with Highlander.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
Making swords and like making.
Didn't you hit your sister in the head with a sword once?
Yeah. So like,
while fighting over a wheelbarrow.
Did you ever do it as a kid? You'd make a bow and arrow out of garden canes.
I just used to find discarded bits of branch and stuff, but I did the same.
Yeah, so
the result's the same.
You cut a hole in the top of the garden cane, cut the bottom, bend it, but so you've got a perfect bow.
Yeah.
I remember my mum said that once I went into the bedroom early in the morning in my full Highlander outfit.
Did you get the
with my
face
sword
paint?
on my
No,
back.
the face paint's not a
sword on
true
my back,
representation of it, is it?
I went, there can be only one! And I shot her right in the eye with a garden cane.
The amount of talk that would have gone into that as well.
Yeah.
Is she blind?
No. She's all right.
Fine.
But I was always doing stuff like that, apparently. I hit my cousin over the head with a hammer as well when I was a kid. Yeah, that explains a lot.
I suffered a lot of head trauma in my early years. Yeah. That was one of the things. I remember near where I lived, there was like a play park area, and I managed to crack my skull open on a slide.
Oh.
And I have these little kind of like quirky memories from my 5-year-old self of watching my blood trickle down a slide while I was screaming in pain.
My most traumatic was I got bit by a horse. Bit me here. So small, it literally picked me up and just flailed me around.
So it didn't just bite you, it flung you.
Picked me up and just like,
oh my God.
Shook me around. Probably messed me up, that did.
Did it scream? There could only be one.
Yeah, it should have done.
Should have done.
Yeah. Like that. 5th edition.
Hang on, no. Come on, we've done enough. There's people who've said things and given money,
fine.
Joe. We
All
should
right,
acknowledge them.
Okay, well, we'll take a break and then we'll go.
We'll take a break from
We'll
the
take
flow.
a break before the best edition.
Arguably the best edition. You know what now? I still love 5th edition the mostest.
Yeah.
But I'm now becoming aware of the fact that 8th edition, I've never had more fun playing Warhammer 40,000 than 8th edition.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am at with
But you struggle. We'll get into that in a minute.
We'll start, yeah, absolutely.
What should Dan's nickname be?
What should Dan's nickname be for the channel? I had a friend who...
It's about you, Dan.
No, but I just kind of like this as a nickname for myself, so I'm going to go for this. I had a friend, and he always used to talk about his imaginary friends, and then there was a famous show on Channel 4 at the time. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like the Armstrong and Miller show or something like that. And there was a sketch about a guy who had an imaginary friend who was a crime fighter, and the imaginary friend was a train operator called Chuffy. So I always used to call my friend Chuffy, and I imagine maybe that could work. Is Chuffy a good one?
I feel like Chuffy is used for something else now.
Oh, it's used for something else now?
Yeah.
Is that like me indicating that I'm some kind of bear or something?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. Not Chuffy. We could go with Dan the Flan, Dangleberry.
Dangleberry, yeah.
Dangleberry's all right, there you go.
The Cheat.
The Cheat, yeah, absolutely.
We called you Dan 2 Points for a while, didn't we?
Yeah, 2 Point Dan,
Dan.
was my name for a while on account of the fact that I...
You won a tournament, but you were 2 points
No, I
up.
never did it. I was contemplating doing it. You talked me down. I was like, no one's going to notice 2 points.
Yeah.
No one would have noticed 2 points. It would have been fine.
But now we live in a world where people, their army's like 2 to 10 points up, and they actively go in and change the points.
Oh, yeah, the levels that people have to go to actually do that these days. Back then, though, it was like literally...
You could, but the events are smaller, like people would literally go through like every line of your list to test it.
Yeah, the dangler keeps coming up. Chuff means butts. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's probably appropriate. I like...
Pizza time.
Pizza time.
I use pizza time now.
Is that become part of your parlance?
It's part of my, what do they call it, lexicon?
Lexicon, yeah, your vocab.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pizza time in my family home refers to a time where I was wearing a pair of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pajama trousers.
Yeah.
And I was sat on a chair with my butt crack shining out.
Yeah.
What is that called when you shine a butt crack at people?
Is
that mooning? No, it's not mooning, is it?
Not a full moon.
What
is
is
like a builder's bum, isn't it?
Yeah, builder's bum, that's it. Yeah, so basically a builder's bum scenario had occurred, but atop the waistline of the Ninja Turtles pajama trousers was the phrase, pizza time.
Pizza time.
Forevermore,
Yeah.
it carries the name of if you ever see someone's ass crack shining out, pizza time.
Pizza time.
So there you go, that's what I'm going for. TMNT Dan, there you are. TMNT Dan, pizza time.
Yeah.
There you go. Look, at the end of the day, the great thing about nicknames is you can't choose them yourself. You just got to accept
you're not
what
allowed
people
to
go
pick
with.
them yourself.
Absolutely. So that's it. Whatever you decide is where we're going.
Like, hey, you in the bushes, you know?
Exactly. An individual called Alex Randall, 36 something or other, gave us one gifted membership, Joe.
Thank you.
No hope for you.
Mr. Randall.
Do better. But thank you all the same.
I like to say everyone is important.
Everyone is important.
Liam won't say that.
No, Liam will be
He
like...
hates the poverty stricken.
This is the thing, I mean, like already I can still see that Liam is going to absolutely kick off at us that we've only done 2 gifted members in this whole thing.
Yeah.
he's going to give us nothing but hard times. Not that I care, because at the end of the day, it means nothing to me. But, you know, Joe, apparently, it matters to you, apparently. Doesn't matter to you either. There we go. This is what we're going for. Don't gift anything. We are wanting the lowest result ever. Please, for the love of God, don't give us anything. This will be brilliant if this works out from there. But we are going to still say thank you to those that did, because we acknowledge that it's nice of you. We've got Stefan Timlin? Timlin. Gave us 1 gift of membership. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then we've got a €2. I wonder what country they come from. Could be Ireland.
Yeah.
Could be France.
Yeah.
Could be.
He said, Games Workshop gave us
Hershey's for 4 days in a row.
As part of their calendar thing.
Oh, we see what you're saying, yeah, because Hershey's are the worst of chocolates.
Are they?
Hershey's are, oh yeah, God.
I love a Hershey bar.
No, you don't. More than a Cadbury's fruit and nut.
The white chocolate, like cookie one, Hershey bar.
Oh, well, like the cookies and cream Hershey's.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different thing, mate. Hershey. This individual is talking about.
Oh, like a plain Hershey.
Plain Hershey's.
Oh yeah,
you know where they don't use real milk, they just use dust.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Didn't some American company buy? They bought the purple chocolate people, Cadbury's.
Cadbury's, yes.
Right. And Cadbury's has lost its royal seal now.
Yeah.
Because the American company changed the ingredients, and it doesn't meet the royal standard anymore. So they've lost so they had to change all their branding.
Is this because of King Charles and his new standards?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, it's because
the shrinkflation.
The Americans just
You've
put
made
too much.
my sausagey hands even larger. I can't stand for it.
Yeah. I can't put my crown on my massive fat head anymore.
There we go. I didn't realise that Cadbury's had lost their royal seal.
Yeah. So they can keep the colour purple, obviously.
Because I mean that's just fair game, isn't
branding, it? But they can't put the crown on it.
There you go. Do they still have the or is it now changed to a Charles whatever he is?
It'd be CW, wouldn't it?
No, I think it's CR now. Because it'll be Charles Royal, wouldn't it? Because it was Elizabeth Royal. That's why it was the
Why is it Windsor? Why do I think in my head Windsor?
Well, that's their name until they become king or queen or whatever.
Oh, and then they're royal.
Yeah.
They reduced the milk.
They reduced the milk?
Oh.
Scum.
But that's what the cows do.
Well, exactly. Wilt. Yeah, that's what they will do. They would do. They'll be there in the barns crying out to be milked.
A bunch of overly inflated cows.
Exactly. Anyway, so they did give us Hershey's 4 day in a row. Although, I'll say this, I quite liked a little bit of fluff about old Titus. Just the thing is, though, the only thing is I think the problem is with the Titus situation within the 500 worlds, and then also the thing is you've established a character in a very particular domain, and now you're giving me a bunch of new stuff about him in a world utterly divorced of the world where I'm used to seeing him. And it's sort of like odd to me that it's like, come on now, can we not have just had like a little bit of multimedia, like a little video or something? Because that's the other thing. Unless I'm mistaken, where's the really fun like Grotmus trailer this year? We didn't get one, have we? Remember last year when he was singing, and the year before where he was singing? Where's our Grotmus?
Oh, yeah. Do you know who I haven't seen yet? James Workshop.
No, where's James Workshop gone? Instead, we're getting all that Ultramarines propaganda.
Yeah. Is that just James Workshop not worked for Games Workshop anymore?
He might do. He may have moved on to a different department now. Or they might have just been tired of that gag.
Oh, but he was so good.
Yeah, but they probably exhausted his value once they did the Votan thing a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, no more.
He
lost his cred.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's like the Michael Bublé, isn't he, of Games Workshop? They just wheel him out.
Do they wheel out Michael Bublé? I suppose at Christmas time.
They get him out of the deep freeze, don't they?
Yeah, they'll just be like, we need to sell more tickets to, I don't know, this event at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. Bring him out! Yeah. Him and Mariah. Yeah. Magical times. I actually haven't heard any of the Mariah Carey stuff yet.
Have you?
No.
Maybe I heard.
That's the game, isn't it, at Christmas time? How long until you hear whatever it is, that song that she does about Christmas?
It's...
It'll be lonely this Christmas. I think that's it, isn't it?
No, that's...
Keanu Reeves?
I don't know. My brain powers. I'm trying to remember old Warhammer. I don't have time in my brain.
What was the name of that? Was it Cliff? Not Heathcliff.
Cliff Richardson.
Cliff Richard?
Cliff.
He used to have some of the best calendars for years. You used to be able to buy
Richards?
like a new pictures of him in just very amusing situations.
Hmm.
I was always can't go wrong with a Cliff Richard calendar this year. Yeah. Anyway, Lehman Russ 9944 has asked, has Dan had the white powder today? No, is the answer to that. I don't partake in nearly any.
I did start making us coffee and then completely forgot.
Oh yeah, no, I am parched at this moment in time.
It's different.
We did have a big tasty beforehand though.
Yeah.
And some nugs. Joe hasn't eaten his chips. They're over there gone extraordinarily cold.
Got to keep the calories down.
Well, exactly. That's it. You know, he's got to think about his figure.
I did have
How close are you to becoming non-herniated?
Yeah.
You got
I've hit a weight. I've lost weight. I'm going to the gym, and I've been going to the gym more. Right. And obviously, by going to the gym more, you have to consume more calories to power
you don't have
yourself.
to though. You could waste away.
But then when I massively reduced my calories, I could barely get up in the morning. I'm so tired.
That's fine. That's fine.
So I'm over a third of the way, but I'm struggling now because, like, did you say muscly? No,
it's so muscly.
No, it's just because I've just hit like a plateau, and my body's like, nah.
What are you doing now though? You deadlifting, swimming?
I can't do deadlifts.
No, of course you
my
can't
hernia. So I'm just swimming 3 to 4 times a week.
Cycling?
I can't.
It's all low impact stuff because of
because I can't do. And when I contacted the NHS, can I have some help, please, in terms of what can I do, because I can't really use the core of my body to do exercise. That's fair. Right? They're like, go to Dorset Health, and they'll and you'll have all the information on how to lose weight, and it's like typical NHS website. Eat less, do more exercise.
There you go.
Great.
I'll
work on that.
It's a great trick. You should, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, who fucking... I remember I saw this doctor once.
Right, okay.
When I went in for blood tests for something, and he was talking about diet and stuff, and he's like, I'm the perfect weight for my height.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I cycle to work every day. I'm like, I can't really do that. Because I work from home 3 days a week. So
you could cycle, it's just not very long.
Yeah. And then my other option is I then have to cycle what is an hour and 10-minute drive, you know.
Why don't you park the car 20 miles down the road and cycle the last bit?
And then he was like, and my lunch every day is an apple and a cheese sandwich. And I'm like,
what a joyless human. But he is the perfect weight for his size.
Yeah.
Well, mate, I believe in you. You're going to do well.
I mean,
you look good for it, mate.
I do. I feel better.
You should.
And I'm swimming. And my swimming's. I'm not drowning so much anymore. I had to get a new inhaler yesterday because of the cold. My lungs just. My partner opened the back door of the house the other day in the morning, and my lungs just went. I couldn't breathe, and I was like, and I went to go use my inhaler, and it was empty, and I was like, oh god,
oh god,
oh god,
I didn't think this through.
Danger,
danger, danger.
Yeah, and then I tried to go swimming because I thought. I'll go to a place where it's warm. I could do some swimming and use my lungs, and it just went double bad. But I can do multiple lengths of the pool now without having to. Because when I started, it was like do a length, have a break,
drop dead, carry on,
struggle, scream for help.
What's the situation like at the swimming pool on the days that you're going? Is it the old ladies doing the aerobics or?
Oh yeah, so we've only got like obviously limited time frames that you can go in.
Yeah.
So I go in the free swim section.
Yeah.
But like, because obviously all the posters on the wall are for all the kids swimming.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm in the ducklings area, right. Right, the lanes become actual fish, right? But I'm in the ducklings area with
the kids.
I don't want to be really insulting, but there are a lot of people in there who don't work because of like physical problems.
Yes, fair.
And I'm with them.
Yeah. And they're looking at you like you're one of them.
All the middle-aged mums are all speeding up and down in the lanes, basically. Yeah, so
You can meet the future Mrs. Joe there.
my partner goes swimming with me actually.
There you go.
Already.
The current
She
Mrs. Joe is
helped-
there.
Yeah.
She can help you pick.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, there we are. Well done, Joe. You're doing well. We have a statement from Event 3283.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Evan
say,
Tominello.
yeah, there we go. It's easy when you know how.
Yeah.
The original Tau Stealth Team rule, roll 3d6 times 3 and see how far that unit can see. If they come up short, they miss their shooting that turn.
Yeah,
that is a great
was
rule.
original night fighting as well.
Yeah, I
wasn't
love
it?
that rule.
No, night fighting was
2d6
times 3.
3, yeah, or
Yeah.
2, or whatever it was. Yeah, that is a good rule. I used to love night fighting as well as a thing. Do you ever remember the old spotlight rules?
Yes.
Where it was like you could shoot at a thing with a spotlight, but then everything could shoot back at you.
Yeah,
Because they
the
could
night
obviously
fight,
see
yeah.
you with your spotlight. I thought that was a good.
Spotlights. Yeah.
Yeah, bring back the spotlight.
And then you play a game and you be like, I'm going to shoot, and your opponent's like, you haven't got spotlights on your army list. You're like, no, you didn't pay the 5 points.
But then the flipping Tau had to come along and have like some kind of weird. It was some
the blacklight system.
blacklight system. Oh, those Tau, those cheeky boys, where it's
Yeah.
like I can see you, but you can't see me.
I hated Tau.
Hate you, Tau. Hate you
But like,
so much.
I was one of those people that got Tau immediately when it came out because they were cool as shit.
Yeah, until you read the rules, and then you
Yeah.
were like, because I did the same thing. I bought the original Tau,
Yeah.
and I used to get frustrated
like-
that they hit on 4s.
The worst thing about the Tau when they came out was the broadside battle suits.
Oh
Dear
my
God.
God.
I've never by that point I'd already gone through full metal Carnifexes and Hive Tyrants into mixed plastic.
Oh, the
and metal
old-
Hive Tyrants. Yeah.
With card effects is
Yeah. But going to the broadside battle suit, what an asshole.
I mean, why did, in their great wisdom, did they think, I know what we'll do?
Yeah.
We'll take a miniature with tiny little ankles,
Yeah.
tiny little ankles, and weird hoofed feet.
Yeah.
And we'll stick a bunch of metal on top of it.
So it's got ankles the widths of a fly's pubic hair, right? Yeah. Which will glue to metal feet,
Yes.
right? And it's got a whole.
Oh, yeah, because it had metal feet as well, didn't it? Yes.
Which will then have a plastic body, but attached to that plastic body will have massive metal arms, massive metal backpack that goes over the existing plastic one,
Yeah.
and then 2 massive fuck-off long metal
Was
guns.
its head metal as well?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so stupid. Yeah, because I just remember, like, the minute you started, it was just literally, like, you could just see the plastic frame inside of it just like...
And you're like, don't touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Once I put it on the table out of its hyperbaric chamber to put it onto it, it's
The stiff breeze comes along
Yeah.
and it just just explodes. That was why they introduced the self-destruct mechanisms into Tau, because they
Yeah.
just knew it was representative of the miniatures.
the amount of times I play games against Tau players where it's just a base with like a crippled broadside just lying on it.
Do you remember how cool it was when
guns.
Forgeworld did like those ranges of Tau
the
battle suits, where it
yeah.
was like so much better at the
And
time?
then they fixed the broadside, didn't they, by giving them resin guns on.
But that was
arms.
the Forgeworld one. That was the
Yeah.
Forgeworld one with the underslung.
Yeah, but
guns.
no one ever owned the Forgeworld railguns that actually were in a straight line. They were always bowed off.
Oh yeah,
at
because it
random
was
directions.
resin and it always just did that. But then they obviously did the current broadsides, which are glorious.
Yeah.
At least the rail cannon one. Good. Yes, love those rules. Vehicle armor facings, bring back from pre-8. I agree. I think we should go back to actually having vehicles being their own thing. I find it weird that vehicles have the same unit profile, although I understand why it's useful. But I like vehicles.
I
being their own rules.
fully agree because I hate the idea that a Baneblade can shoot all of its guns out of the oil barrel on the back,
Oh yeah,
right?
that is so stupid.
Or like a Bane, like an entire a Rogel Dawn could be behind a building and stick its barrel out like that and shoot every single gun at you.
Yeah, it's not
right?
cool.
While still claiming cover.
Yes.
The other thing I really hate about cover is you have you have a demon prince, right?
Look at that demon prince.
In this example, my demon prince only has one wing, right? And you put its wing behind the wall like that, it's got cover. There you go.
Yeah.
Right? It's got cover now because its wing's behind the wall.
Yeah, brilliant.
It grips my shit, it does.
I'll tell you what, though, the weapon phase, and that was from the Khazarian?
I think, like, what I'm going to do is...
Thank you for the £2.
I think Games Workshop, if they said, like the model where it is just a momentary representation of where it is, where it's finally placed, but obviously it might shoot at you when it moves from building to building kind of thing. Like, that explanation is much better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's bullshit. Like, where...
But you end up with really weird ones, right? Because there was a time in 6th edition 40k where you had a real problem with open-top vehicles in, say, like Orks. So there was like this problem that was going around where basically you would get a truck, and in that truck would be a unit of Scorchers, i.e. the weapon teams guys with the flamethrowers. And basically the trick with them is essentially because they were all in the truck, they didn't basically have to deal with the normal flamer rules, which is you measured from all the bases. So what you would basically do is take one flamer template, put it in the most optimal place you could, and then go, cool, that times 10.
Yeah.
It was like, oh God.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was... I hated it with a passion.
That was like, but that was where it was like they had to tweak that rule because you basically it became that rule then became you could only kill as far as that could go.
I remember a guy in the Salisbury store said that he invented that, and I was like, no. I don't believe you.
No,
I don't believe you. Because every Orc player in existence is using
exactly.
it, even in other countries.
Yeah. I mean, if he did invent it, shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you for exploiting rules.
But yeah, so in a way, I kind of like the idea of it being representational of a more kind of nebulous concept as opposed to being literal figures on the table. But at the same time, there are instances where those rules have value. And again, nothing should be viewed with absolutes, I think is the thing. It's like everything is subject to some level of context. And I think vehicles being the way they were would have been better. Because I miss Tank Shock, for God's sake. Whatever happened to that? Tank Shock's such a good rule.
Do you know what, even better? Super heavy Tank Shock.
Oh, well, no, what, flipping Thunder Charge or whatever it was.
Yeah. Once I learn how to use Tank Shock, going into Baneblade Tank Shock, do you remember, which is what we will go into in the 6th edition talk in a minute.
Do you remember when I played against your mate? What was his name? Was it Kev or something? He played Orks, and he always...
Oh, Matt.
Matt. He was always very rude about you.
Yeah.
He was a good
most people that are friends with me are very rude.
But you remember one time I played him and he basically brought that army that was like the War Gazkul army where the whole thing is a unit.
Oh, it was 100 Orcs in one
100 Orcs in one unit. And I was like, I know how I'll beat this. And I just ran 3 jet bikes behind his unit and then just tank shocked him over and over again until he failed a leadership test and had to run away. And the whole unit died because it fell back into jet bikes. I mean, admittedly, in order for him to fail that leadership test, I think he had to roll like a double 6 followed by a 6 followed by a 6 or something. And I was like, yay!
Just keep doing it.
Just keep going.
Yeah, because their leadership was based on how many models there were.
Yeah, it was like mobbed up. But I think it was if you rolled if you rolled a double 6, you just failed regardless. And it was like, so it's like the odds were like super slim. Anyway, thank you for that, Kazarian, Lehman Russ.
Also, tank shocking it caused really horrific unit coherency problems as well.
Yeah, massively. Yeah. But that in those editions, unit coherency was resolved in your movement phase. So if you were put into a situation of non-coherency, you had the opportunity to resolve it in your movement phase. And if you couldn't resolve it, then you removed casualties. Whereas now the way they do it is as soon as you are out of coherency, you're dead.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting way of doing it. Lehman Russ 9944, thank you for the $4.99 and the comment of I know a my dyslexia is so pronounced today.
I know
a migraine. A migraine?
A migraine?
Yeah, okay, that's what it was then. Fine. A migraine group. We play for Apocalypse, but the Heresy we play a minimum more 5k per person, and we might have to finish it within 1.5 days. Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's probably more me than you. Then we've got Panic here with Danish money.
Yeah.
The old DKKK, the old krona.
Yeah.
50 of those, whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Denmark recently, and it just seemed like everything is expensive, so I assume that's like £1 million.
Yeah.
If tomorrow GW removed the data slate and everyone had to play their codexes as printed, who would be the strongest? Index Elder. But
no, because it's codex.
Oh, codex based. Who would be the strongest based on their codex? I don't know now. Who would be the strongest based on their codex if they removed every single other thing? Imperial Knights have since been fixed.
Eldar?
No, Elder.
Codex Eldar are really strong.
Is it Codex Elder the one? I don't think Codex Elder, maybe.
Custodes bad, Space Marines meh.
Let's say Chaos Space Marines, just to be contrarian. They definitely won't be. They're terrible.
Awful.
Well, at least when Joe plays them. But we're going to say that because it's more Joe's fault than anyone else.
Yeah.
Would you believe it, Joe? Someone's given us 5 gifted memberships.
Lagasse. Oh, Death Guard. Yeah.
Oh yeah. God. God. How did we forget?
I think we made ourselves forget.
Yeah, probably for the best. My God, those Death Guard rules. What were they thinking? Oh God.
Yeah. Good golly.
Yeah, certainly wouldn't be Thousand Suns, would it? Poor things.
No. It definitely wouldn't be AdMech.
Thank you, Brandon, for your 5 gifted memberships.
So we've been doing a superpower, but there's a drawback.
Okay.
For a wish.
So what, I have to come up with a superpower, or you come up with a superpower and I do the drawback?
Yeah. So
which one do you want?
I'll do it to give an example.
Okay, you do the example.
So the example is, I hope that you have the ability to turn anything into gold.
But you being able to do this massively devalues gold and brings a world end to all global trade and destabilizes civilization and inevitably results in our demise.
Obviously, you'd have to do it more than once for that to happen.
Yeah, but you would do, wouldn't you? And then bam.
Because
everything turns into gold and then bam, it's all worthless, isn't it?
You'd have to control yourself and keep it hush-hush.
Oh, there you go. You've got to keep it under wraps.
You'd have to buy loads of cheap knockoff jewellery.
And make it into
and
gold.
Then turn it into gold and then sell it to one of those We Buy Gold websites.
I suppose the thing is, though, I mean, I don't know much about how global economies work really, but they keep printing money, don't they? And it seems to only go up in value.
Yeah.
So God knows what's going on there.
Yeah, that number one just keeps on getting more expensive.
Okay. We have one gifted membership from... I have no... what do you reckon?
Ironrouser.
Thank you for the one. And lastly, from the things that we had to talk about, Robin Ellis. Robin Ellis has given us 5 gifted memberships.
Yeah.
Go on.
I hope that you gain the ability to, much like in computer games, if you need to go anywhere, whistle and have a horse appear.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it is the starting mule donkey creature from Red Dead Redemption.
Oh. Not like Altair's one or
whatever. No, not one of the good ones. You know. But if you spend £10 every month on the DLC, you can get one with... it's the same base mount, but it's got a shiny hat.
Yeah.
That was all of the things. We're on to 5th edition.
5th edition.
Please continue to support the channel.
Right,
anyway, 5th edition. I liked how they did wound allocation in 5th edition until it broke.
Yeah.
Because it was interesting. Because basically wound allocation at this point was essentially, I've done 10 wounds to that unit. There are 10 models in that unit.
Put two of those how you may.
2 of those models have special weapons, so they need to roll individual saving throws.
Oh, yeah.
And then we resolve the status quo, as it were.
So what you're saying is 5th edition was the introduction of fast rolling.
It was the introduction. Well, fast rolling was still kind of a thing, but it introduced systems whereby there was opportunities for you to pick out models without it all coming down to really weird jank, where it was like, "Ha! I've popped round a corner and you're the closest thing, so I'm going to get rid of you." It actually became more a case of
because you'd position your models so that you could only see one guy out of a unit.
Yes, yeah. Although actually, God, was that when they introduced? Because it was. No, it was like 6th edition was when they started introducing the concept of killing what you can see. Yeah. Or no, 5th may have had it as well. When did they introduce the concept of rhino sniping? That was unbelievably tedious when people got into that world.
Yeah.
Do you remember when everyone was like getting 2 rhinos and basically putting their asses together and being like, I can only shoot that one guy. I'm going to kill him.
Yes.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the minute you start getting into that realm, it's like, get in the sea.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
We are not going to be friends.
yeah, exactly. Get out. The minute that concept comes into play, no. Just no. They also actually really up the ante in the devastating element of combat. So basically, previously you used to roll a leadership test based on your leadership characteristic once you lost combat. Now there were modifiers to that based on various variables, but those modifiers were more or less capped at like -1. So if you were leadership 9, you might roll against a leadership of 8 because of losing combat, etc. However, in 5th edition, they went, I've got a good idea. Your leadership is impacted by the number of casualties. So if you're a unit of 20 guardsmen and 10 of you are dead, you're now rolling your leadership -10.
Yeah.
So it basically meant that big blocks of infantry and other things that...
It was awful to be a big squad.
It was really rough. And again, 5th edition was one of those ones where the incrementation of, or rather the kind of incremental increase of fearlessness kind of ever creeped into the game. But for some reason, was never given to Necrons.
Yeah.
So you ended up in this situation by the end of 5th edition that, I'm a guardsman. Okay, are you fearless? Well, if I've got a commissar. Yeah. Oh, good for you. Oh, I'm Tau. Are you fearless? Oh, I've got this knife. So yeah, yeah. Functionally, yes. It's like, oh, I'm a Sisters of Battle. Well, you don't exist in this game, so go away.
Yeah.
You know, but then it was like weirdly, like every army had a mechanic to ignore morale, except for Necrons. They were literally like, we're leadership 10. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, the immortal race of robots are scared of everything in this game, whereas everyone else was like, I'm just fearless.
Tyranids were just flat fearless.
Yeah, they were just flat fearless. Demons were fearless. Chaos was fearless, except for weirdly Chaos Space Marines. They weren't fearless. So yeah, literally, unless you were a unit of Chaos Space Marines or anything in Necrons that wasn't a Catan, you were fearless. It was a really weird time in the game in that sense. But no, 5th edition was still rubbish rage. 6th edition was when they made Rage amazing.
But it was the introduction of the greatest Imperial Guard codex ever written.
Oh my God. I think that was the thing. I think the thing with 5th edition was it was the real culmination of everything and the opportunity for things to really kind of cook. Although the problem is we also then did end up with really meaningful codex creep at that time. Like stuff was getting stupid.
Was everyone blamed Matt?
Matt Ward.
Matt Ward.
Matt Ward is the guy who's got the blame.
5th edition was not a great time to be Matt Ward.
Well, it was, because he was working at Games Workshop writing rules. It's just no one liked what he was putting down.
Everything he did was mental.
I loved it. What's that? Oh, it's a Death Company Dreadnought. What does it do? Keep going.
You loved Matt Ward
who
wrote your book.
Exactly. If Matt Ward had anything to do with your codex, you were like, my God, this is something special.
But
to be fair, Phil Kelly's
that Death Company Dreadnought was bonkers.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so fun. Phil Kelly's Space Wolf Codex was probably a worse offender, though, than Matt Ward's Blood Angels. The only thing is that, like, the Blood Angels had some very obvious problems, like the Death Company Dreadnought, but everything was amazing in Space
5th edition also gave us...
Jaws of the World Wolf was introduced in 5th edition, or whatever it was called.
It also gave us the entire range refresh on Drakari.
Yes, which is another reason to be extremely happy.
Although weirdly, the Drakari we have now is basically almost nearly all the same.
Basically,
but it's like everything that we have now was influenced by the work done in 5th edition.
Yeah, Phil Kelly and Jez Goodwin's work on 5th edition Drakari was seminal and has stood the test of time. I think it's phenomenal, the work they did there. But I think that's the thing, like a lot of the lore stuff got cemented. So they changed Necrons in 5th edition. So in the original 3rd edition text for Necrons, which wasn't their original, they had a 2nd edition thing. But in 3rd edition, the idea is that Necrons were sort of slaves to the Catan, and that kind of continued on. And the idea was that the Catan were represented, the miniatures were representation of actual Catan gods.
Because their lore hadn't been changed.
No.
Like their lore during 5th edition was that they'd all basically had like space aids, and then the Catan cured them, but by curing them, turned them all into robots because they're all a big trick.
Yes, that was basically the way it went.
Their codex was the bleakest read you've ever read. Like, it was. You'd read all the fluff in that book, and you're just so sad.
The thing that was weird about it, though, is basically the sequence of events remained the same in terms of the lead up, but then basically the joke is they then turned around and went, right, well, we had it with you. Yeah. And then they started killing the Catan. Yeah. Which is the other thing. And that's why now Catan are Catan shards as opposed to actual Catan, which actually makes more sense because if an actual Catan was able to take to the battlefield in 40k, you're all done. Yeah. there's no coming back.
You also had an incredible Inquisition codex at the time, which was
Grey Knights, Codex Grey Knights.
But you had the Inquisitors, but you had like the Witch Hunters, Xenos, and...
So that was in 3rd edition, those two codexes. So Codex Demon Hunters and Codex Witch Hunters were 3rd edition books.
Oh,
or maybe even 4th edition books.
Oh, and they were kind of kept up by White Dwarf, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, yeah. But then when we got to 5th edition, they gave us Codex Grey Knights, which had all the Inquisition stuff in there. And it was absolutely mental. Like, the Grey Knights in 5th edition were dumb as fuck. They were crazy. They were literally like, I got Cybolt ammunition. It makes, now my autocannons are strength 10 or whatever it was. And it's like, what? Rules that I really loved in 5th edition, I suppose. Yeah, look, I liked the way wound allocation worked in it. And I liked... the thing about 5th edition, it's the last edition before all the madness settled in.
Yeah.
Right? Because in 5th edition, we had flyers, but we didn't have rules for flyers. They were just elaborate skimmers and stuff like that.
Pre-6th edition, you didn't have army jank. You had people...
You did have army jank.
But like it was more like manipulation of core rules.
Yeah,
like the rhino sniping. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas 6th edition was when they were like, let's just go mental.
Yeah.
Obviously, like someone said that Super Ready said that 3 rhinos for assault marines if they took their jump packs off.
Oh yeah, love that.
Right. And just insane stuff like that.
Which, by the way, I mean, led to a really weird quirk, which was technically that technically it meant that the rhino could have deep strike as well.
Yeah.
Because deep strike was a special rule on the assault squad, and it wasn't linked to them having jump packs.
Yeah.
And then it used to be that if you were embarked within a dedicated transport, that dedicated transport would benefit from your special rules.
But if you're a Blood Angel, you could just do it anyway.
No, Blood Angels didn't have it. They had deep striking land raiders.
Oh, yes.
Because Matt
How
Ward...
silly of me.
Exactly. Matt Ward, or whomever it was who wrote the fluff for Codex Blood Angels, wrote the line of, Blood Angels have got so many land raiders, they just chuck them out of planes. They're just like, these things are everywhere. Just throw them out the door. Like,
but I think my favourite thing from 5th edition, as it wasn't a core rule, but it was introduced through the Imperial Guard Codex, which was where, because obviously you had the combined arms attachment where it was like the 2 HQ, 2 troops and stuff, where what they did is they had an expanded troops section.
Yeah.
So one troops unit choice for your army was an entire platoon. So your platoon was a command squad, 2 infantry squads, a support weapons squad, which was like mortars, heavy bolters, autocannons, a special weapons squad, which was a group of 3 plasma guns, 3 melter guns, snipers, and the sentinel squadron.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was when they started to really look at the concept of law into rules and army design, because they were like, that's how guards should be. Right.
Well, I think the thing is the game had remained in a relative status quo in terms of core systems and design principles since 3rd edition. Yeah. 3rd, 4th, 5th, they knew what the core concepts were and restrictions were. So all the army lists that they were releasing at the time were really cooking in terms of how they could come up with interesting ways of you being able to layer in more kind of narrative and more kind of creative, kind of fluffy stuff into your armies, which was super fun. Also, it was really the return of characters again. Like all of a sudden, people wanted to take special characters.
You never saw captains, but a lot of chaplains.
Oh my God, chaplains, librarians were really, actually no, librarians became really prevalent in 6th edition onwards, and we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, 5th edition was, it was a super fun edition.
And also, I think it's where they started to get the concept of the idea of making your armies have a overall theme. So obviously the Guard Codex again, which I thought was just a work of art at the time,
Stunning piece of work.
introduced the idea that you could pay points for everyone, that for your guard squads to have carapace armor, to be heavy troops, or to be infiltrating, to have like a scouting army, or they'd have like a version of stealth, so they're like harder to hit. It was great. And I think for me, the Guard Codex is a whole thing into itself, basically.
The 5th edition Guard Codex is it's a special book, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's well good. But yeah, I think if I was focusing on specific rules that would have been interesting within the realm of 5th edition, I think if you could keep the wound allocation system, i.e. if I've done enough wounds, you have to allocate one saving throw to a specific weapon or something. I think that'd be quite fun. Because again, it just creates a bit of an opportunity for you to actually maybe over-invest in a particular target as well, because you can potentially take out some of the useful stuff within it.
Yeah.
And then that was cool. 6th edition, my God, 6th edition was a madness. Like, so 6th edition is essentially the same core rule set, but if you were to think that 3rd, 4th, 5th kind of existed within a kind of relative plane of battle, i.e. we are fighting on the land, maybe some water, but we're fighting on the land with walking vehicles, tanks, infantry. They were like, what about if we added the sky?
The sky!
You didn't think about that, did you?
Yeah, because up until that point, the only planes involved were Forgeworld planes.
Yeah, and they would have rules like they could leave the battlefield and re-enter it.
Yeah, so
they would or they fly high or whatever it was.
So what you would do is at the start of the movement phase, you would pick an entry point on the table.
Well, this was, you're talking about in 6th edition now.
5th edition.
Oh, 5th edition.
5th edition, the planes were literally mainly only really in Apocalypse. They'd enter from a point of the table.
Yep.
And then the shooting phase, it would basically move across the table to another point where it's going to leave the table, and then you do a firing run where you get to shoot at something that you pass over. But people could also snap shoot at you at the same time. They could also shoot back.
Yeah, they introduced the concept of basically there is this additional plane of combat, which is the air for 6th edition. So then all of a sudden, flyers, so the Helldrake was introduced at this point.
Yeah, the Storm Raven.
The Storm Raven was introduced during 5th edition, but essentially started to have its own interesting rules within the realm of 6th.
But it was only Blood Angels that had those.
And Grey Knights.
And Grey Knights.
And Grey Knights. But then, and also for a while, that still remained the case within 6th edition, because the Storm Raven only became generic Space Marine option in the 7th edition codex, weirdly.
Yeah.
But anyway, in fact, actually, I think it may have only become a generic Space Marine option in 8th edition. But anyway, we digress. The point is that they started adding flyers, and that created a whole thing. And then they introduced the flying monstrous creature, which was basically, as it got wings, cool, it can also enter this plane of existence and join in the fighting and all the rest of it.
But it was quite limited. It was demon princes with wings and hive tyrants with wings.
And obviously greater demons that had wings.
Yeah.
So again, demon princes. That was about it in terms of what could occupy that space. But they introduced flyers and they introduced all that stuff. They also introduced unit characters. So they introduced the concept of a sergeant had a character keyword or a character subcategory. So it was like a unit character.
Yeah.
And then they introduced the concept of Look Out Sir. Good podcast there. Look Out Sir, which was the idea that if you wanted to protect your character from being shot, because again, they went back to a system where wounds were allocated based on closest to closest. And if you were in a situation where your unit sergeant was going to get shot by something, you could roll a Look Out Sir test, and on a 4+, another member of the unit would take that casualty.
Yeah.
They also then introduced, as an extension of that, the idea of challenges.
Oh.
Which was like a whole new world of madness as well.
Because that came from Warhammer Fantasy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then you ended up into this weird challenge sub-game where you had to basically go into combat and say, I challenge! And then someone had to either accept it or not. And if they
character or sergeant could accept it, basically.
Yeah, and if they didn't accept it, then there was
that person couldn't fight.
He couldn't fight. They basically went, nah, you're all right. And then the rest of the unit would fight in their stead, and it would do nothing. And then they introduced the mad rule for Chaos, which was the Champions of Chaos or Boon of Mutation rule, where Chaos Space Marines always had to challenge.
Yeah.
So every time they went to a fight, they were like, I will challenge you. And
but the challenge was still always fought in initiative order.
Yes, exactly. So
this was Prime Joe joining Drakari phase.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because Lilith was an absolute monster.
She was initiative 10 and her weapons... No, she was initiative 10.
Yes.
And she got more attacks based on the difference between her weapon skill and your weapon skill.
Yes, and she was weapon skill 9.
Yeah, so 9. And the average is weapon skill 4, so she basically always had 5 extra attacks.
Yeah, she was nutty.
And she had power weapons, you didn't get a saver.
They were AP, because that was also the other thing as well. They introduced AP to power weapons, because before, so back in 5th edition, a power weapon would ignore a save except for an invulnerable save. And then in 5th edition, they introduced the idea of AP characteristics where, by the way, as well, actually, across all of these, I bring back AP the way it used to be. I like that more.
Does
my AP beat your armor? You get no save, I think, is a better system.
I think it's better because it means that power armor becomes better immediately. Space Marines actually become a viable force when you reintroduce the old AP system.
Yeah.
My favourite thing about the challenge system was having shit characters in good units.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the prime example was the little Mechanicum man that came in the Mechanicum robots.
Oh, that was a really weird late addition to 6th, but it was very prevalent in 7th, But the Cyberdyne Datasmith.
Yeah, because you challenge him.
Yes.
Right, and then and wounds that carried on over. Bearing in mind he only had like 2 wounds at the time.
I think though he was at the time he was 1 wound with a toughness of 3.
Yeah, would carry on to these toughness 5, toughness 6 robots.
Yeah.
So Lilith would just go in and annihilate him, and then his unit would just be like, just drop down dead. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was a real downside.
But the opposite to problem I had playing Drakari in that edition was the fact that flamer weapons and blast weapons could hurt occupants of an open-top vehicle.
Well, that was always the not desperate escape test, but the it can't get out thing. But basically an open-topped vehicle, if it was shot with a template weapon, basically all the inhabitants got hit, and that was hilarious against raiders.
Yeah, raiders and orc
trucks.
Orc trucks are having a bad time.
Yeah. I think it's a we can't escape test or something. It
was the only edition I can really think of where flamers actually started to become prevalent in armies. I can't remember an edition since where people have used a lot of flamers.
Well, that was the other time as well, because they introduced Overwatch back into the game in 6th edition as well. So, but Overwatch, when they first introduced it back in 6th edition, was basically, are you charging something, then you're getting overwatched. Is basically the way it worked.
And it was awful versus Tau.
Oh my god, Tau became so good overnight. And then they introduced the idea of Wall of Death, which was the flamer thing. So basically, the idea that if you're charging into a unit with a flamethrower, they're just gonna.
They didn't use the template. They just went. You just get hit D6 times.
Yes.
Which is what we have now, ironically.
Yeah. Which
is mental to think that in an edition where it was declared as broken, it's just normal rules now.
Yeah. Was it 5th? No, I don't think 5th had Overwatch. I'm going to die on that hill. 5th didn't have Overwatch, but I could be wrong. I'm going to have to check. Did 5th edition have Overwatch? Did 5th edition 40k have Overwatch? Come on, Google thing. No, the Overwatch modern edition.
The AP system was fine.
Definitely 6th.
Because special weapons weren't in the level of abundance that they are now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It definitely became a problem as armies. Basically, once they introduced units like Stern Guard and they introduced units like Wraith Guard.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff became super abundant with loads of options.
They started making things like Kassakin and a Stormtrooper AP3.
Yeah.
Space Marines were like, oh fuck, Guard are here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bloody 5 book. Please do. I will take that challenge.
Yeah.
6th edition was the first edition that brought Overwatch back.
But Yeah, like 6th edition.
I'm not just trusting the AO overview. I'm trusting my own recollection plus validation
Plus
from an AO.
autism.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm up for it. I'll take the challenge.
Yeah, but
I'm having it. But yeah, like that was the thing with 6th. Was it was a really also as well. Actually, God, they introduced the weirdness of psychic powers back in. They actually introduced a psychic phase in 6th edition.
Yeah.
It didn't exist in the game until 6th, the psychic phase. And the psychic phase, if I remember correctly, or maybe the psychic phase was first introduced in 7th, and they gave you... No, it definitely was... Oh, was it?
I think 6th edition was still the psychic abilities were still done in the phase where it was relevant.
You might be right. Yeah, you might be right. And then because there was this weird period of time where people had the codexes, and if you had a codex that was like an old codex, you could still choose your psychic power. But if you were using modern stuff, you had to roll for it all the time.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get to choose anything in this edition. Everything was rolled
Yeah,
for.
because I want to make an addendum.
Yeah, please.
5th edition, Eldar could buy their spells.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
And everyone
That was their 4th edition codex, but in 5th edition.
Because I played them in 5th edition, not 4th edition.
Yeah.
And just being able to buy Doom and Guide like,
Well, all you did
what
was-
have you got? Doom Guide, obviously.
Well, you just take Eldred Ulfran because he
Yeah.
was actually cheaper than a Farseer with Doom and Guide, and he
sometimes
had
if
everything.
you're feeling a bit fancy, you take Defender.
Oh, Defender. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But that was when, because that was also the thing where they added the Warlock powers, where they had like good and bad variants. I think
Yeah.
that was actually something they introduced in, you know what? I think that was something they introduced in 8th edition, was the idea of Warlocks have like a good and a bad version.
Well, because they basically, they were all spells that already existed, but they paired them up. didn't
Yeah,
they?
that was it. So they were like, oh, you can have Conceal, but you also get Reveal.
Yeah.
And then you get like, yeah, good times, man. But yeah, no, there was loads of stuff they added to 6th.
do you know-
6th was a maddening amount of new
6th
stuff.
edition, my favourite rule they introduced was chapter tactics. And which then obviously got spread out to all the different codexes. So you had different craft worlds, you had different hive fleets, you had different Chaos Space Marine legions.
That that was more towards 7th edition. They started doing that.
But it started in 6th edition. Though,
Yeah,
didn't
well, they started adding these weird supplement books. So if you remember Codex
Clan
Elder,
Raccoon, you know?
Clan Raccoon, Sentinels of Terror,
Yeah.
Homunculus Covens, Wah Gazkul.
You just go through your home library at the moment.
No, I'm just remembering all the things that are in it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. No, they had some weird things though. I think, the challenge rules were weird, rolling for everything. There was a lot of upfront admin for a lot of armies. So I used to run Chaos Space Marines in 6th edition Warhammer 40,000, and I ran a Thousand Suns Demon army, because that's the other thing they brought back in 6th edition, allies. Allies didn't exist.
When was Demonkin?
Demonkin was 7th edition.
Okay, we'll talk about them in a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about Demonkin in a minute. But in 6th edition, they brought back in allies, and that also created a load of weird jank, because all of a sudden you had these things where it was like, here's my Elder army with Tau, of course, where the old Taudar stuff started coming around. And the one that was really popular for a while was that you could take a 40-man block of conscripts from the Imperial Guard Codex, and then you just put a Space Wolf Sergeant in there. And then all of a sudden the whole unit had They Shall Know No Fear. So they just didn't run away. And it was like, what?
So dumb.
There was so much dumb stuff in that sense. But they did the challenges. They did a bunch of really fun bits and pieces in it. They added psychic powers. They added... I think 7th edition might have actually been the first time they added warlord traits and things like that. I think those relics and warlord traits and things started coming there. But 6th added loads of mad stuff. They added a lot of mad stuff. Psychic power stuff was in it. But there was a lot of added extras.
And the flushing out of Kill Team as an actual game.
Yeah, I think that was the first time that, around the time 6th or 7th, they made it its own individual rule set separate
there
from the core
was a real
system.
weird bleed of 6th into 7th because it's
it happened so quickly.
But also, it's the only edition of the game, editions of the game that shared a starter box set.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that is true.
It's
Dark
the only
Vengeance.
Dark Vengeance never got replaced. They just changed the codex. They just changed the rule book
and the packaging.
The packaging.
Yeah.
And in 7th edition, to make it a bit more exciting, they gave you the free Chaos Champion.
Yes, they added the Chaos Champion.
Yeah.
That used to be one of the really early plastic character kits in the clamshell thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you got the original 6th edition version in its first print run, you got the really awesome Dark Angels Chaplain mini.
He was fucking incredible.
He was great, mate. What a mini. What a mini. And again, it was the Librarian edition because all of a sudden they went, Librarian, 65 points. Yeah, why not? And everyone's like, yay, loads of them. Because they had psychic powers up the wazoo. But yeah, no,
Super Ready has accepted defeat.
Ah, look at that. Oh, not so smug now.
Yeah. And
well, here we go. Someone thinks that 5th has allies. You'd be wrong. Although technically, 3rd, 4th. Well, depending on when they introduced the Grey Knight kit and then subsequently the Inquisition kit, Codex things, there were methodologies where you could get units into other armies in an allies type system, such as Grey Knights, right? So Grey Knights you could always add into a normal Space Marine or Guard army because they had specific rules for it. So if you want to be really pedantic, you can argue that that there has been allies. But the allies system with the allies matrix and all the rest of it was first brought back in 6th. So they had that very well defined in 3rd, didn't have it, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then brought it back in 6th comprehensively, is the answer to that.
Dan's my memory brain is bigger than your memory.
No. I'm just saying. I just remember. There we go. I was going to say I remember 5th having allies later on, just not on release. Maybe there might have been.
But this is what the problem I'm saying is that there's a real bleed across in 5th into 6th because there was a lot of change in both, but it's easier to remember editions from starter boxes.
Yeah.
You go, so it was, what box it was at the time? Whereas 6th and 7th shared the same one.
Also, actually, as well in 6th edition, they also added, for the first time ever, the mysterious terrain rules. Do you remember those? Where they used to get a special dice set and you got a little plinth with you. Oh no, mysterious objectives, that was it.
Yeah.
And you'd roll the dice and it'd be like, oh no, this objective is a grenade. And it would blow up every turn. It's But always what you wanted was it to get Skyfire. And they introduced terrain. You could buy terrain in 6th edition.
Oh.
So you could buy Aegis
defense lines. Did that not come with Planetfall?
Well, it might come with Planetfall, but they added it to the core rule set of 6. So you bought Aegis defense lines, bastions, Sky Shield landing pads.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love 6th edition all of a sudden. Why aren't we playing more 6th? God.
It wasn't.
What a game.
It introduced a lot, but it wasn't a great edition, though.
No, it was like you've set your makeup gun to whore.
Yeah. Just it's like Homer Simpson's one, which is just a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I remember your mate buying the Imperial Knight Codex at one tournament, and we went to a tournament a couple months later.
And it was invalidated.
It was invalidated because we were in a new edition.
Yeah, that was quite hilarious. Yeah, because they introduced the Imperial Knights during 6th edition. The Imperial Knights Codex is basically it's essentially a hardback pamphlet. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's 1 page of rules because it's one knight.
Well, actually, no, it had a few rules because they had to explain how to use super heavies in 40k because they didn't have any universal rule for it back then. They introduced that later in 7th edition. But such as Stomp.
Yeah.
Ooh, Stomp.
6th edition was the introduction of D.
Oh, yeah, the D. That's starting to appear, didn't it?
The D.
The D.
Right? Oh, the D.
What's that? I've rolled a 6.
You're dead.
You know, the funniest thing about that rule always was, though, is I've rolled a 6. Oh, yeah, but I'm in cover. Oh, yeah. You can't take invulnerable saves. But this bit of grass has got me covered.
You may have just hit me with a shadow sword, but I'm stood behind a blade of grass, and therefore I get a 4-up save.
Yeah. But yeah, the flying monstrous creature rules were pretty nutty in that edition as well, because you basically used to go into swooping form, so then you could only be snapshot at.
And they also made, in 6th edition, they made monstrous creatures AP2.
Oh, God, yeah. Because they had Smash. Smash was their rule.
So,
and they could take all their attacks away and do one big Smash attack.
Yeah. There was a period of time where I was running 3 tomb spiders.
Oh, mate, yeah, because they were monsters.
Because everyone thought they were shit, and I was like, but it is a monster.
It is
and
a
it's
monster.
the cheapest monster in the game.
You're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. And they're like, we've only got 3 attacks. It's like, yes. And 3 attacks that hit on 4s. I'm like, that is true.
Yeah.
But if I wound you, you are dead.
Yeah, because I've got instant death on these.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
God, yeah, 6th edition. What a mad thing. Do you remember they did because they did the psychic powers in like actual cards as well back then. You could buy them and they came in that really weird like black kind of like clamshell and things.
6th edition was also the introduction of Eternal Warrior.
Yes, Eternal Warrior came
to
in
combat all of the instant death in the game.
By the way, and this is completely unrelated to anything, but do you remember when Space Wolves had a unit called Lone Wolves?
Yes.
God, they need to bring that concept back. They were
shit.
so cool.
In addition,
Why aren't Lone Wolves in the fucking game anymore?
It's because they made characters not be able to join units.
Yeah, but that's even better for Lone Wolves.
Yeah.
They're Lone Wolves.
But now characters can join units. It makes sense to have a bunch
bring back
of
the Lone Wolf. They were so good. I love the fact that the idea of the idea of the Lone Wolf was as long as they're alive, they're worth a victory point to your opponent. Like, so basically you create this weird dynamic where it's like, don't kill me, I'm worth a victory point.
Yeah.
like, shit. Because the whole point of them is they want to die.
Yeah.
Love them. Love them.
It's kind of, they kind of reintroduced that rule in Warhammer Fantasy now, where you get, if you run the Dwarf Slayer army, is that your opponent doesn't get points for killing Slayers.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I put the army down, I win. Well done.
Yeah. So the most amount of points if your opponent tables you in one of the builds, the most points they can get is 250 in a 2,000 point game. To table you.
You could do a Lone Wolf with the combi weapon lieutenant. You could, technically, I suppose. Yeah. But where's the fun in that? You could take Mephiston as a Lone Wolf. What a treat. But no, 6th edition. Oh, what a game! Mad. 7th.
But what's your favourite thing from?
It was all bad.
It
That's
was
the
all
problem.
bad.
None of it deserves to move over.
Right.
It was buying terrain, but actually having universal terrain that's actually good in a game where the board isn't already covered in terrain.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I don't know. Bring back an Aegis defense line. I love them.
I'm gonna choose.
Or the torrent rule on flamers. That was good.
Was it?
Yeah, because Helldrakes used to shoot fire out of their ass.
I'm gonna go for challenges.
Challenges. Challenges. Bring back a challenge.
Loved challenges.
Yeah.
Um,
Give me back the 6th edition Chaos Space Marine Codex. It was so good.
yeah, because like
Burning brand of Scalafrax.
Because my favorite thing about challenges, they kind of fit into the same realm as Tank Shock, is that no one really understood properly how to use them.
Yeah, no, everyone got confused when you did a tank shock or a challenge. It was always like, what's happening? What's going
happening?
on?
Or like, because it was late 6th edition, start of 7th edition, where I picked up Harlequins as an army, and because we've got Harlequins came in properly, like as a proper thing, and people always underestimated Harlequins, and like, Harlequins are terrible, and you're like, cool, I'm going to run to you, and I'm going to challenge every single one of you with the Troopmaster, and he was a menace. Great time.
Well, it's because every one of them had like the Harlequin's Embrace, which gave them all rend, didn't it? Or rending, and then basically all you had to do was just roll enough 6s, and then oh god, they introduced whole points, didn't they, in 6th edition? Less great, but there you go. 7th edition. How long is this supposed to go on for, by the way?
We normally go until like 3:30.
Okay, fine. Well, we're going over. Whatever.
We'll do 7th edition.
And 8th.
Big change. We'll do 7th and 8th and then we'll stop.
We'll call it there, because no one cares about 9th. There's nothing good that can be moved over from 9th.
Well, 9th edition is basically 8th edition plus, right?
8th edition plus,
Yeah.
No, we can. I think that's the thing. I think in 7th edition, look, the thing is with 7th edition is basically this is when the wheels came off a bit because they started going crazy with all the things you could do. They introduced formations, they introduced attachments, they introduced demonology, they introduced biology, they introduced geomancy.
Geomancy.
Oh my god. Bring back geomancy though, to be fair. Like Geomancy. Could you imagine Geomancy in the game today?
Oh, it'd be
where
great.
It's like, I'm on this ruin. Cool, I'm shooting across the board.
It's like the parting of the seas.
Yeah,
you move all the trade out.
It was such a bad game design decision, though, because it obviously created friction with your opponents, because ultimately people didn't like the fact that you picked up something that was basically on the board and did. It wasn't fun, really, was it? So. Because there was always a chance you could damage stuff in transit, and it created a bit of bad feels. Again, this was the edition where they introduced the actual kind of super heavy rules more completely in there.
Yeah,
so
this is where D started to get a bit.
Oh my god!
Because like D wasn't really around much in 6th, but in 7th edition it was fucking everywhere.
In 7th, when they went, oh, here's a Wraith Knight, by the way, and it was like, oh my god, the Wraith Cannons are strength. Do you remember those flipping flamers that?
The Scatterak version had what it was called.
No. The regular Wraith Guard had strength D flamers.
Yeah. This is the edition where my guard army just all of a sudden just had a shadow sword.
Yeah. It was a mad time, but a good time as well if you were not the kind of lunatic.
I think 7th edition was where me and you properly started to embrace like event games and going out and doing stuff. It really cemented our relationship as me as a sponge on your life.
Well, that's it. That's it. That was the time we were playing 7th edition.
Yeah.
Chariots were fun. I loved the old chariot rules. The old Tomb King, or not Tomb King, sorry.
The Necron Lord.
Necron Lord on his command barge.
because with a chariot, when someone shot at you, you got to choose whether you took it on the chariot, which was a vehicle, or on the pilot, who was infantry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm armor 11. Oh, you're shooting me with a bolter. Oh, would you believe it? It shot the tank.
You hit me with a last cannon, which I get 4 up invulnerable save.
Oh, and I'm Eternal Warrior. Yeah, whatever. I'll take it on the bloke.
Oh, I failed. I took a wound.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Whoopsie daisy.
But that's when Logan Grimnar started to actually be
Santa Claus Grimnar came around like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
No one really liked him because his miniature was terrible back then.
But his rule was great.
His rules were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, my God. They really screwed up flying monstrous creatures at that time, though, and it really impacted summoning. Not that people who did summoning deserved any level of support, because demonology summoning was just the most crazy thing imaginable.
when demon players were getting an extra 2,000 points on the table.
It was when elder players were getting an extra 2,000 points of demons. That's when it was all going terribly wrong. But yeah, they introduced this concept of demonology. So there was 2 types of demonology. There was demonology summoning and demonology sanctic, and only Grey Knights had access to the version that wasn't the nasty one. They also introduced the idea of psychic mastery. So if everyone in your army, or if your psychers basically all had the same, because you could take from different psychic disciplines. So if you were like a Tzeentch army, you could be like, oh, I know Firestorm, but then I also know Change. And admittedly, actually, by being a demon of that denomination, you already had psychic mastery anyway. Sorry, this is the problem with that game. It was muddled. Is the way of it. Introduced really fun concepts like the flying circus. Do you remember that army? Where it was literally just Lords of Changes and Demon Princes, and basically if they went first, they went, everyone is flying, and you're like, oh no.
Also, 7th edition was a bit of a shake-up in Games Workshop, because it's the only edition where we started to get actual regular rules, FAQs and updates.
Only towards the end, and it wasn't regular.
But no one remembers the fact that you could only get them on Facebook as pictures, images.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
It wasn't on the Games Workshop website. It was just an image.
Well, that wasn't Warhammer Community back then. Didn't exist yet. Did not exist. You used to just go to the actual Games Workshop website, and they had a little news blog on there. Yeah. Mad times. And, but yeah, 7th was good, except for the bits that were bad, which was a lot of it.
Yeah, it was. I liked the introduction and the kind of playing with the concept of detachments.
Yeah, I liked conceptually what they were doing.
And chapter tactics.
Yeah.
It became a thing, because there was a real splitting of the chapters then.
Yeah.
Because before you could have multiple characters from different chapters in the same Space Marine army, and 7th edition where they actually split them out. And they said an Imperial Fist is an Imperial Fist, kind of thing. Which
unless
I was
a Crimson Fist.
Unless it was a Crimson Fist. But then you could have both of them in the same army.
Oh yeah, it was great. You could add lots of interesting flavour into it. They came up with lots of really mad things. The problem was it was just a bit of a madness, and also by the end, they just got a bit crazy with some of the things that they were giving people. And yeah, if you were one of the kind of lunatics that was playing it in the tournament scene back then, you could do some utterly mad
That
things.
Skyhammer.
Oh yeah,
You ran with the drop pod and the Devastator squads and the.
yeah. So that was my army. I did Yunari scatter bikes with
Oh my god, the Yunari narrative. What?
Yeah. The Yunari was so dumb when they went, oh cool, we're going to do out of sequence events with things, so you can shoot.
Every
out
time
of
something dies, you can move and shoot.
Yeah,
and
it's so
it was
dumb.
horrible.
So dumb. But you know, we had to go through it to get to.
You could have a
better
Yunari
days.
Wraith Knight.
You could no, you couldn't have a Yunari Wraith
Oh,
because Wraith constructs couldn't be Yunari because they're dead.
No.
Or they're not dead; they're undead.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They're zombies.
Zombies. But yeah, things that I would keep from 7th edition, I suppose. Actually, if I'm honest with you, I think these days not having fixed abilities and having to roll for everything is funny. I think actually if you couldn't choose what you get, but you've just got a list and you had to roll for it every game, I think it creates a little bit more of an opportunity for you to actually be more of a dynamic player rather than just being fixed in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, planes in 40k do make no damn sense. I agree. I think sadly, even though I've enjoyed playing flyers across the span of 8th edition, they probably need to get in the
7th edition when you had the weird little mini game off to the side.
They added that as an
planes.
additional rule, and that additional rule was terrible because basically it was so convoluted and complicated. And the way they wrote the rule was if one of the players wants to use it, you have to use it.
Yeah.
So the amount of times when you play people at like tournaments or something, you both have flyers and they go, oh, I'm going to use Death from the Skies. And you're like, what is that? And then, oh, you've got 7 maneuver points and I've got 1 million. Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm glad that's worked out.
Doesn't sound like you're making this up at all.
Yes. Exactly. Oh, you're dead. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks.
I've done it. Oh, you've shot me. Oh, I jinked.
Yeah.
Do you? Who knows? You know.
Yeah,
Well, I've
exactly.
declared it on a 2+. I ignore it. Great.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, I get reroll. Get a reroll. Yeah.
Oh my god. Seize the initiative.
Ah, what a rule.
Right, which was obviously in previous editions as well.
It was, yeah, but that's more of an 8th edition rule.
But Seize the Initiative was still in 7th edition.
It was, yeah.
And
Drakari used to get it on a 4+.
You used to get a 4+ re-rollable Seize the Initiative.
Yes, I love
which
Drakari.
I miss. Basically, that was the 6th, 7th was when I discovered my love of Drakari and how much better than Eldar they were, because they were just bullshit at the time.
Well, it used to be that, it used to be Drakari and Elder used to go well together. It used to be like, here's my Archon with a webway portal leading unit of Riftguard with D-Scythes.
Yeah.
It's like, yay, what fun.
Yeah.
Do you know, in 2nd edition, they used to have this system where an army used to have like a tactical value. So like a Space Marine army would be like tactical 5 or something, and then you added that to your dice roll to denote the tactical superiority. So you had more agency over what could happen because your army is, thematically more good at doing tactics and things.
Did not know that.
There you go. Right, cool. There we go. That's us reminiscing about stuff.
But thank you, the Springies, for 1 gifted membership.
Cheers,
and
pal.
And thank you, Clive the Kiwi, for 1 gifted membership. And
What
he also
ledge.
said, representing the Great Hall this weekend in a tournament, the Revenant Titan shall walk. He's taking a Revenant Titan.
There you go.
You know?
Well, if you're playing a UKTC layout, not walking too far.
Yeah, but doesn't the Wraith contract detachment allow it to walk through walls?
Oh, sorry. A Revenant time for the Elder. Oh, yeah, no, that'll be fine. That's got like a movement of 60 and fly and all sorts. Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about that one. Oh, sorry. I thought for some reason it was not the Warhound, but the other one.
And then, thank you, Daniel Elliott. Says, love Dan's enthusiasm for the game, so here's lunch money.
Cheers, pal.
Thank you.
I will use it to reimburse myself for the big tasties that I bought,
Yeah, that's fair.
which weren't actually as big as they could have been.
They were quite small actually, because
But-
they'd used the buns
From
of a
Big
bit-
Macs.
from their usual burgers.
I tell you what, though, the thing I will say about Big Tasty, once you remember it or didn't have it or come back to it, is it's very oniony, isn't it? Why would
sauce-
posters be on the floor there like
It's
that?
like they fluttered
Well, both of them together.
together. Someone had a stack.
So I built nothing, but I did unseal a box,
Yeah, that's good.
and you did that.
Right,
Good.
yeah. But I just like the idea that someone was trying to put up a poster and it blew away.
Yeah.
It also breaks up the
Monotony.
top a bit.
That's fair. You should put some barrels up there.
I have to go through and at some point and do Agrax washing all the posters to make them look a bit
more grubby.
Tea
stain them.
Because the buildings themselves are rusty, but paper doesn't really rust, does it?
I mean, I don't know much about.
I said that
paper,
I like
but
the
I'm pretty
idea
sure it
with
doesn't rust.
the cities. That basically, there's still a servitor going around putting up, like Wally.
Like Wally.
Yeah, just going around putting stuff up though.
Wait, that's not what Wally did. He cleans up.
He'd
clean up those posters.
Yeah, but it's a different job, isn't it?
Make them into cubes.
This is a different one.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I would if I had Wally.
You know what? If you're going for that theme, though, you just need one lone little plant somewhere.
Yeah.
Just that one little grass root
in a shoe.
Yeah.
I know he puts it in a shoe.
He puts it in a shoe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I watched Wally in ages actually.
No.
Not a Christmas film, so I can't.
It's not a Christmas film. No. I haven't really got into the Christmas mood at all this year.
I need to put across the idea to Liam that we do a Muppets Christmas Carol watch along.
Oh my God, let's do it.
Because like
when a cold wind blows, it chills.
Because Tom
chills you to the bone.
Tom, who off our channel has never watched it. And I basically said to him, that means that you've never felt joy in your entire life.
No, of course he hasn't. He doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, he's had no cheeses for his mises.
No cheese for his missus. Come in and know me better, man.
Come in and know me better, man. You know?
I actually...
The best version of
2 years ago, I went to what used to be the Hammersmith Apollo. I don't know what it's called now. And I went to see the orchestral version of Muppets Christmas Carol. It was absolutely transcendent. But the thing is that was really annoying about it was it was kind of actually just like watching it in real and normally because the orchestra was so good at replicating the music. It was just like exactly like the music sound.
Yeah,
but it was there in an orchestra.
Yeah.
I was let down though by the fact that I expected like a little bit of preamble from like a Muppet. I thought some geezer with a Kermit would have come out and gone, "Hello!" And didn't get any of that. They just started the film, played it.
Yeah. I think I like about Muppets Christmas Carol is that
it's one of the best films ever made.
What film she's in, Miss Piggy is always an awful person.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Even she couldn't care less about Tiny Tim.
No, she does not give a shit.
You Tiny Tim, how was he at church?
Yeah.
I don't care. Come give me snuggles, Froggy. Yeah.
like just yeah.
What was the name of the two little girl pigs in that? One of them was I am Belinda.
Yeah.
And I'm
Melinda.
Melinda.
That's it, yeah. But like it's just so good.
So good. So good.
And also I keep seeing these Christmas rats everywhere.
Heat wave!
Right. We're going to go
island in
I'm going to go and turn it off now. You've all been great.
Yeah.
Me and Tom will be back later at 7:30. It'll be Raven Guard versus Death Guard?
Raven Guard, Death Guard?
Raven Guard.
That's too much guard.
Yeah, the Battle of the Guard.
Battle of the Guard. Is that why you're wearing your Raven Guard tee?
Yeah.
There you go.
I want to get a t-shirt of every army I have.
All the guard.
Yeah, so we will see you later now. Love you, bye. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.